I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's
Christian rapper, y'all look glitz and glamour. I don't mix with actors, y'all miss the rapture. How you breaking bread with the devil? You in bed with the rebel? But you say you Christian, tripping, milk boys, y'all better get on my level. Look, what we even talking about? You act a fool, and I gotta call it out. Wouldn't have to do it if y'all would just walk it out. Seem like you care more about what's in your pocket now. You making your bed, now you sleeping it. So to the world, one day you'll be reaping it. You should be set apart, but you deep in it. You ain't gon' die to that flesh cause you feeding it. I know, you love the fame, you love the likes, you love the streams, ain't getting no strikes. To that devil you harmless, ain't calling now sin cause you mix with the darkness. We battle demons, you are collabing with Legion, now you off the meter. Jesus got pinned to the cross for your sin, and you selling out for a feature, sucker. Look, this is a warning for people who think they could dabble with sin. Don't do what they do, they are evil, these rappers are fragile within. Look, I'm not afraid to put gloves on and battle or rattle your chin. But I did not come to bring peace, but divide, let the battle begin. I don't mix with actors, these boys in it for the glitz and glamour. I don't wanna collab, there's a list of factors. Y'all milk boys, y'all ain't even Christian rappers. Christian rappers, y'all ain't even Christian rappers. What happened, you missed the chapter? Y'all milk boys, y'all ain't even Christian rappers. Listen, don't invite me to the dubs, don't invite me to the Grammys. Don't really need your fake love, I'd rather stay home with my family. I don't need a cosign, God been providing the whole time. Forget that red carpet below me, you know me, my trophy's that goal line. D1, why you collabing with Satan? I thought you were part of the bride. Receiving correction is hard when you guarding your heart full of pride. Jesus didn't come to bring peace, you won't even spark the divide. You call it art, I call it selling your soul, and you gon' take that mark and survive. Shame, y'all can't be real, y'all can't be biblical, y'all signed a deal with the devil. Y'all don't know nothing about being hated by the world, homie, you cannot be on my level. Y'all probably smoking that weed, thinking you sowing the seed, but that's treason. You take communion with God, but it's a facade, cause then you make money with demons. Look, don't ever say I didn't warn you, cause I kept it real from the jump. I stood my ground, even when they hated me cause of Trump. If y'all could just see in the spirit, y'all looking like gay little runts. Y'all can't even bust a grape, you slave, and y'all never cave like you punks. I don't mix with actors, these boys in it for the glitz and glamour. I don't wanna collab, there's a list of factors. Y'all milk boys, y'all ain't even Christian rappers. Christian rappers, y'all ain't even Christian rappers. What happened, you missed the chapter? Y'all milk boys, y'all ain't even Christian rappers.
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, pitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear in school. Doesn't it seem outrageous?
They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok because they hated trying to replace God with the government. In many such cases, they put fear in you. COVID-19, guns, immigration. Here's the truth. Have you ever seen great wonders and miracles? I can't even remember what he says. Oh, we got a transition. Transition. Let's go. Is mic working? Check. Cool. What's up, everybody? It's 2026. Where's the American anthem? Where's the national anthem? Dun, 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 dun. It's 2026, America. Grab your balls. We're going to war with Venezuela. Fuck Venezuela. We love the Venezuelans, but I had to fight some commies in the battle with 2 fingers. Had to stab a Venezuelan in the neck. They join in BRICS. They selling oil to our enemies. We're taking the oil. You're not bringing fentanyl from China into America. We're going to make them glow in the dark. Shout out Joey Diaz. Yo. Happy 2026. We're off to a good start. Okay, I have a different format tonight. We're going to try a different format. Instead of doing 3 main stories, I've just split the show into the 3 main stories. So the whole first segment here, we're just going to talk about Venezuela. We're going to do everything Maduro and Venezuela. Then I'll do rapid fire. I don't have memes. We're going to do some rapid fire and some reels. But in rapid fire, there's another story. It's not a huge story, but interesting story I want to look into is the ski resort fire. I think last time I saw there was 20 fatalities. Crazy. And there's some insurance issues with that. I want to see what's going on there. I haven't even looked into the story yet. I just because it got overshadowed by this Venezuela stuff. This is crazy, this Venezuela stuff. So, and I'm with it. Let's go. Josh, I thought you said you didn't like war and stuff. I don't like war, but I don't think this is war. I think we just handling biz now. And then the last segment of the show will be the third story I was going to talk about, but we're going to make it into a whole little segment at the end. The Lily Phillips baptism situation, the feminization of Christianity. You know, I've never actually seen the Erica Kirk and Nicki Minaj interview from the Amfest recently. I haven't even watched it, so we're gonna watch that. But in this Venezuela thing, we're also gonna spend some time watching Rubio. His interview on Meet the Press was amazing. He answered every question. Every question you see these liberals protesting, within hours, they were saying exactly like, you know the narrative. Oh, it's xenophobia, it's racism. Trump's a racist. He's xenophobic. Oh, he's imperialist. He's just taking over the world. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but the other night we were talking about Greenland and how it relates to Venezuela and whatnot. And now Trump's bringing up the Greenland thing again. He's mentioned it, he's talking about it. But yeah, I'm sorry. We're gonna talk about all the Venezuela stuff. This is crazy. How did church go yesterday? Oh, so I went to. I didn't know. I kind of did know what to expect. It's like a non-denominational Protestant church. It wasn't bad. I liked it. It was nice, but it's like, dude, the communion is like a little prepackaged thing, and it has a thing you peel off, and there's a wafer, and then another thing you peel off, and there's like grape juice. And after going to liturgy, the liturgy is the place for me. I don't know if I'm gonna be like catechumen or do anything like that. But I don't know. It's too soft. It's like, praise Jesus. It was not a lot of holding hands, but a couple people holding holy hands, and it was nice though. You know what I like about it is everybody's real friendly, and people will just walk up to you and start talking to you. Oh, is your first time here? Oh, you do blah 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 blah. And there's a lot of people there. It's like a mini mega church. Like not a mega church, but it was kind of like had that vibe, but it was smaller. A lot of people, a lot of attractive young ladies. It'd be a good place to find a wife. But I don't know. Usually in churches like that, the ladies are freaks. But a lot of young ladies, a lot of young people, a lot of nice people. The community aspect, I think you'd probably get more of it from a church like that I went to the other day. It's a lot of people, a lot of different little groups they do throughout the week, and a lot of fun stuff. Good place to meet friends and socialize and whatnot. But from a spiritual aspect, I ain't about it. I don't get it. And I'm not a feelings guy. So it's not like I didn't have the right feeling. It's just not, I don't know, it's not it. I like going to liturgy better, but the reason I went there is because it's closer. It's like right around the corner, so I just walked over there. I scooted over there. But yeah, that's my report. I looked on the website for what denomination it is, and I didn't ask anybody, but basically I think it's just non-denominational Christian. But I didn't see no gay flags. So that was all right. The message was about prayer, and he went to one of my favorite parts of the Bible. I was looking at it in Luke. I forget the chapter and verse, but about prayer and about pray not in vain and repetitions as the heathens do. Go into your prayer closet, be still, and know that I am God. Actually, I don't know if that part's in there, but then of course they give you like an acronym. They're like, pray means, what do you say? What do you say? What was the P for? See, I don't even remember. He's like, write this down in your notes. I ain't writing some acronym down for pray. R is request, and I disagree with this. Well, I think you can request from God when you like break down and you drop down to your knees and you pray out in your time of need. God hears you, but you shouldn't be praying to God for your job and please make sure my money's okay. We're told not to take thought of, and that's in that passage. He didn't read that part. He stopped before he got to the part of take no thought of tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. And the R in his pray acronym was receipt or request. And then I can't remember A. And then Y was yield. What was the first one was praise. Praise, request. What was A? Acknowledge or A was basic. I can't remember, but and then Y was yield. You yield yourself. But it was nice. It was interesting. I don't want to rag on him too much. It wasn't bad. It was just it's not the same as liturgy. And I'm not even like an Orthodox guy. I'm just a lost homeless Christian looking around. And I definitely like going to liturgy a lot more. I was praying to myself in my head, kind of like when they were doing the communion. I was like, do I even take this? Like, because I know I can't take the Eucharist. I take the Atiteron. But should I be taking this communion? Is this communion? What is this? Because that's what like the church I was raised in kind of did it. But at least back then, it looked more like official because there were like actually little wafers on a tray. This is like a plastic packaged corporate cup with like a peel off layer, and there's a wafer and then a peel off layer. That was weird to me. I was like, what is this thing? It's like a half and half container of communion. A little half and half at communion. You know, like the gas stations, how they have all the half and half in the things, the different flavors of half and half. It'd be like if they had like a communion one. That's what it looked like. And I was like, I don't know about this, but whatever. I took it. Worst case scenario, you know, I had a little snacky snack, but but I will say I'm tempted to keep going because you know, your boy trying to make some babies. Okay, let's get into the news. What do we got? We got Venezuela. We're going to spend a good chunk of time on this. I want to go through everything from the beginning. USA Today. We're going to talk about the reaction of the people. We're going to see Maduro getting walked out, some videos. We already watched Trump's speech live, so we're not going to watch Trump's speech. There might be some clips in some of these news articles, but we are going to watch Rubio. It's 18 minutes. And that will be a big chunk of this thing. But every question the liberals are complaining about, everything they put on a sign, everything they're protesting, the Meet the Press reporter, who Trump's called her out before. I don't know her name, but she asked all the questions, what about the Honduran president that Trump pardoned, who was a drug smuggler? And Rubio answers all of the questions like a beast. Like, I was watching this, I was just like, man, he's good. Like, I've never heard Rubio on like this. He's on point. He's answering everything correctly. And he's not letting her, like, when she starts seeing that, okay, the people aren't going to like this answer, she starts trying to like, okay, next. I'm not done yet, woman. And he finishes the answer. You don't see that a lot. I guess some people would say it's filibustering. I don't think he's filibustering. I think he's on point. So we're going to watch that. But first, let's just look at the basics. Here's our boy, Maduro. Our boy. Not our boy. Maduro is not our boy, okay? Here's him on the USS Iwo Jima. USS Iwo Jima. And nobody's going to mess with our boats. That's a boat, right? Not a plane. Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, pictured here after his capture aboard the USS Iwo Jima, is seen in this handout image posted by the U.S. President Donald Trump on True Social January 3rd, 2026. The United States captured Venezuela leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Honey, Get the travel bag. We're leaving. Honey, get the oh, honey, get the travel bag. We are leaving. They're taking us to America. Hurry, andale. Andale, get the bag. Nicholas, can we make it to the bunker? No, honey, we can't make it to the bunker. Get the travel bag. They're taking us. Oh, but please, Nicholas. All we have to do is run very quickly. We're very speedy to the bunker. We can't get to the bunker. We got him, boys. Pictures of the fire at Puerto Tijuana, Venezuela's largest military complex. After a series of explosions in Caracas on January 3rd, 2026. A lot of explosions. What is this? What is this about? Oh, here we go. I think I have the video of them walking him off the plane right here. Yeah, here's CNN. We got the video of him walking off the plane. Maduro on U.S. soil. CNN. Let's check this out real quick.
Saw President Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan president, we could see that it was indeed him, looking like he was wearing the same exact outfit that we saw earlier.
He got a Nike tracksuit
by the administration, but a remarkable
Get out of here.
where we're seeing him walking on U.S. soil, flanked by
Why is it dark?
More than a dozen federal agents. This is moments ago. I know it is very
Did you just
dark,
say a dozen?
hard to see, but eventually you will start to see it lighten up just a bit, and you'll see most people surrounding him are wearing
Kristen
black
Walker,
clothing,
that's her
but
name.
he is not. He is wearing something that is lighter.
Yeah,
and
didn't
gray
Trump call her
color,
a nasty woman?
Or it looks like gray, potentially light blue, but similar to what we saw in the pictures that were sent out by the administration. You are seeing him there flanked by so many agents.
God,
and
look at
taking
all of them.
steps very slowly as they take him to the next position.
Dang. Boys, we got him. Maduro on U.S. soil. Captured Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and will face drugs and weapon charges. Trump's plan for Venezuela. Trump said the U.S. will run the country, quote unquote. That's a little misleading until a we're going to run the country if we need to. Until a judicious transition can happen. He also said the U.S. will seize Venezuela's massive oil reserves. I'm glad he's not being secretive about it. He's being honest. I want clips. I want to find a clip of me 3 years ago saying, why don't we just take over Venezuela? Get the oil, get the leader out. It'll be better for the people. Make them like Puerto Rico, make them a territory or something if we need to. If we don't have to, we don't have to. But we've been talking about BRICS for years. A lot of people are brushing over this fact, or maybe now they're starting to talk about it. I'm seeing, what's the channel called? There's a channel, economic something. Anyway, it's an economy channel. It's an economics channel, and this guy's talking about BRICS and about, he says the main danger here is that this is going to destabilize the dollar even more, that more countries are going to pull out of American currency and be involved in BRICS because, and countries are going to feel threatened because they're going to think if we have any natural resources, if we have any oil, is Trump just going to come take us over? And now the spin is, and I got an article here, Trump is talking about Colombia next, and he's talking about Greenland again. Not that we're going to have to aggressively take Greenland, but acquiring it. And the left is yelling imperialism imperialist. And maybe it is. And maybe that's based. I don't know. I'm not totally anti-imperialism, but I usually lean toward not going to wars, but I don't consider this Venezuela thing a war. Doesn't look like a war to me. Looks like it took us an hour to go in and take their leader out. And now the people are happy. Uncertain future. Venezuela's Supreme Court has directed Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, this is the new lady that's kind of in charge right now, to assume the powers and duties of acting president. Meanwhile, opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has called for an opposition candidate to assume power. Venezuelans across the country and abroad have expressed joy and hope, but also apprehension and anxiety. So basically, people in Venezuela have expressed every range of emotion. Thanks, CNN. Flights to resume. Flights through the Caribbean airspace. A lot of people are trapped there. Oh, I don't have the video of them getting back to their house. Somebody put out a sad piece about the Venezuelans' return home after the bombings, which kind of assumes that they were warned to get out. I guess 40 civilians were killed. I got that too. Let's watch this, see some videos, and go over the basics.
Donald Trump has just posted a statement on Truth Social. This is the first public acknowledgement by the United States. I will read it for you, just seeing this pop up on my phone as we speak while texting back.
So you can see the bombs on the skyline here. I have it in one of these articles. 7 bombs in total is what we dropped. We dropped 7 bombs. We did have boots on the ground, only long enough to carry out the situation. When they asked Trump about the boots on the ground at the press conference, he said, yes, we had boots on the ground. We're not scared to say we had boots on the ground. We put boots on the ground during the operation. They asked Rubio. Rubio clarified. He said, yes, during the operation we had boots on the ground, but we don't have continuous boots on the ground like as a military occupation of Venezuela. I don't think all that's necessary. Everybody's so worried, like, well, now we got to take care of Venezuela. We're going to spend all this money taking care of Venezuela. With Trump in office, if we're taking care of Venezuela, that means it's profitable to us to do that. Like, so if it costs us over the next 3 years of Trump's presidency, if we spend $5 trillion helping rebuild and take care of Venezuela, we're going to be making $20 trillion off of the oil. And I think that's probably the plan. I think Trump's just like, we just need to help the Venezuelan people. I don't think he's trying to do that. We're not just going to spend money to clean up Venezuela. There's a business plan here. There's a deal in the making. Get the commie out. Big Daddy America, you're in our backyard. You're a boat ride away from Florida. You're working with our enemies, giving them oil, getting involved in BRICS. You're bringing Chinese fentanyl into America to kill Americans. Fuck them. And I mean the government, not the people. Fuck them. The government, the cartels, fuck them. You can't run your country right. You have the most oil in the world, and you run your country like a bunch of retards. We got this. We'll take care of you in so much as you're our next door neighbor and you're hurting, and we don't want the neighborhood going to shit. We'll take care of you enough, but, you know, we're going to benefit off of it too. And Trump's not shying away from that. He's not lying about it. It's not comparable to Iraq or something. He's not lying that they have weapons of mass destruction so that we can be in a forever war over oil. He's saying they got oil. They're pieces of shit. We took out their president. Now our enemies don't get to work with them anymore. We got your back, but you're not dealing with our enemies anymore. Not in this hemisphere. Excuse me.
Back and forth with senior advisors at the White House. From the President of the United States, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow, according to the president. There will be a news conference, he says, today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. He then punctuates it, as he often does, with thanks for your attention to this matter. It is signed by the president. So again, I want to repeat 2 of the key sentences in there. He confirms that the U.S. carried out this large-scale strike against Venezuela, and he says that its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out.
No U.S. troops hurt. 1 helicopter damaged. So I guess that's like a monetary casualty. a light, it's not a huge thing. They didn't crash the helicopter. They just damaged a helicopter. 40 Venezuelans killed. Now, I don't know if this article tells me which of those may be combatants or people defending Maduro, maybe people resisting the military, whoever's shooting at a helicopter. So there is enemy combatants there. Out of the 40 Venezuelans killed, I don't know how many are civilians and how many are enemy combatants, but I really wanted to find out more about that because that's going to be a big issue to the lefties and the Trump haters. They killed 40 Venezuelans. Well, they killed 100,000 Americans, so I don't care.
Out of the country. So, according to the President of the United States, Nicolas Maduro is no longer on the ground in Venezuela. It leaves open a bit of a vacuum there in terms of leadership. It's not entirely clear who is effectively running that country at this time. I just want to get your immediate reaction to the news that we are hearing again in a Truth Social post from the President of the United States.
Well, this changes everything. This means that this was a regime change operation and that this was had some degree of coordination. Witnesses earlier described helicopters. Witnesses described...
So a regime change operation. Well, Maduro had to go. So call it what you want, but don't call me for fronts. They gave Maduro a chance to leave for months. Told him, get out of there. Just let it go and leave, and you won't go to jail. But 2026 is the year of fuck around and find out. As Pete Hegseth said, they effed around and they found out. Do I want to keep watching this?
Described low-flying aircraft. I was taken aback by what you just said, that Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been taken into custody. That means there were either local forces on the ground or local forces working with Americans to hand over the leader and bring him out of the country. An extraordinary development.
There's a bomb.
We just saw
1, 2,
a regime
3.
change operation.
Looks like 4 here.
Quickly in
5.
the early hours.
6.
You said, does it leave a power vacuum?
Yeah, I think you see one more big one.
For the last several
There's
months,
7 going off over there.
Conversations going on.
It looks like 8, 9.
With the general
10,
and the top leaders
11,
around Maduro,
12,
trying
13.
to convince them to.
Okay, well, the article that said 7 bombs dropped might not be accurate because I just counted 13 explosions just in that one shot.
On him, to hand him over, to allow him to be arrested, and to get him to use the phrase what we had heard earlier, to cry uncle. He wasn't crying uncle, and now it seems he was arrested. An extraordinary development.
Now,
it
Richard,
started out with some boat strikes, and then to a military campaign on land,
the dock.
and now a military operation and an arrest.
And Richard, that of course, it opens up a lot.
Development.
I apologize for interrupting again. That breaking news that according to the President of the United States, the U.S. has now successfully launched, carried out, as he says, what was a large-scale strike attacks in and around Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. Beyond that, he says that the U.S. has captured, and flown out of the country Nicolas Maduro and his wife. And Richard, I bring this up because it's significant for a variety of reasons. Nicolas Maduro, only a matter of days ago, said in a new interview that he was open to negotiating with Washington to combat drug trafficking, the first sign that this pressure campaign was taking its toll.
Yeah, sure he was.
The questions that it raises now are...
He tried playing those games with Biden. That might have worked with Biden, and they're going to work with Trump.
Was there any resistance by Maduro when this took place? Was this in some way negotiated with those around him? Those are questions we have on the ground. As you say,
But when I show you the houses that were destroyed, or I don't know if I have that video. Maybe I can find it real quick. It was New York Post. The New York Post. Venezuelans return home. I'm not seeing it. Oh, here's one. Venezuelans return home to assess damage. Yep, this is it. So this is them coming home after the bombing. But, I mean, does that mean they were warned ahead of time? Get out of here. They're coming through and bombing tonight. I bet you they were. Venezuelans return home to assess the damages. To see, look, the whole back wall of this building's blown out. You know, casualties of war. This stupid music. First thing that came to my mind was that the Americans had invaded because that's what you think. Then my husband told me, grab the child, grab the child. I went downstairs in my pajamas because we didn't have time to change or anything. Emergency, you don't think about anything. You could run out naked without realizing it. Wait, what did she say at the beginning? At the moment of the bombing, the first thing that came to my mind was that the Americans made it. So I'm guessing the first bomb hit nearby and they got out, and then one hit near their house. Marshall's mom is blown out. Okay. Anyway, what's PBS saying? Trump says U.S. will run Venezuela after capturing Maduro in surprise military attack. So Rubio kind of answers about this. They have a woman. They got some lady president who's taking it over now. So, and I don't think he said he would run the country. He said we. Anyway, in a stunning act of regime change, this is PBS, on Saturday, the U.S. military captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and brought him to U.S. soil to face criminal charges. Soon after, President Donald Trump announced the U.S. would run Venezuela until a transition of power is made and warned of a new era of U.S. domination over Latin America. Yeah, and that's, I have the article. He's talking about Colombia and Cuba. Colombia and Cuba look ready to fall. So, I'm sorry, Latin America. You about to be American. You about to. We're taking all of Latin America. I'm not gonna read this transcript. Is this
Back in the year 2000.
I thought I already got through the ads. Let's see what CBS News says.
This is CBS News special report. I'm Carissa Lawson in New York. The United States just attacked Venezuela's capital, hitting military facilities in the country. President Trump ordered this up.
Okay. So CBS is saying these are military facilities that they attacked, which is what I figured. It's strategic targets. We're not just illicitly dropping bombs to kill civilians. These are targets, and I bet the people were warned.
Operation. There were multiple explosions in Caracas starting at around 2 a.m. local time. You can see the video here coming in. It shows low-flying aircraft in the city. This is the first U.S. military attack within the country. President Trump is targeting the South American nation.
I have a feeling it'll be the last.
Authoritarian leader Nicolas
Not
Maduro
last ever,
and his
but
alleged ties to drug cartels. It follows months of military buildup in the region. The strikes come just hours after Maduro had said he was open to negotiations with the U.S. Let's go right to CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. She's traveling with the president in West Palm Beach, Florida. And Natalie, what are we hearing from the Trump administration right now?
Well, as of this hour, sources are telling CBS News that Trump administration officials are aware of these reports of explosions and aircraft.
Yeah, we know they're aware.
Response from, and again, this is something that the president himself had said was a possibility out loud, talking about potential land.
Yeah, he wasn't lying.
CBS News has also learned from sources that the president gave the U.S. military the green light to conduct land strikes in Venezuela days before the actual operation, waiting for conditions to be right there. Sources also say that military officials were even going to conduct the mission on Christmas, but U.S. airstrikes in Nigeria, as you may remember, against ISIS.
Merry Christmas.
Precedence
Merry
that
Christmas,
day,
you filthy animals.
on alleged drug boats off the coast.
This was
of
crazy.
Venezuela
These helicopters flying through.
Expanded now to
not even like
massive
huge bombs.
Military buildup around Venezuela, a blockade of.
We're going to leave them blowing in the dark.
A pressure campaign that's both military and also economic pressure.
As you said, this has been a slow and steady escalation. What is the president's goal in Venezuela at this time?
He's been careful not to completely disclose that when asked directly.
He's made it pretty clear by now.
He won't talk about.
All right, they just keep playing the same three things on loop. Let me get rid of some of these. U.S. attacks. This is TRT World. I don't know what this website is, but I think this is the one. Okay, this is the one that says at least somebody giving a civilian death count, or what it seems. I don't know how reliable this place is. TRTworld.com. Never seen them before. I was just looking for a death toll. U.S. attacks in Venezuela killed at least 40 people, report. A senior Venezuelan official tells the New York Times civilians and soldiers were killed during a U.S. operation. At least 40 people, including civilians and soldiers, were killed during a U.S. military attack targeting Venezuela to abduct President Nicolas Maduro, according to a report published by the New York Times. Citing a senior Venezuelan official who spoke on condition of anonymity, the report said at least 40 people, including civilians and soldiers, were killed in the attack. U.S. officials told the newspaper that the assault involved a large-scale aerial campaign aimed at disabling Venezuela's air defenses before ground forces were deployed. More than 150 U.S. aircraft were dispatched to knock out air defenses so military helicopters could deliver troops who assaulted Maduro's position, the report said, citing U.S. officials. There was no immediate public confirmation from the White House or the Pentagon regarding the casualty figures or the full scope of the operation. U.S. forces captured and flew Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, out of Venezuela early Saturday in what U.S. President Donald Trump described as a dramatic overnight operation. Trump said the United States would run Venezuela until a safe, proper, and judicious transition is secured. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York unsealed an indictment early Saturday accusing Maduro and Flores of trafficking tons of cocaine into the United States along with other alleged crimes. Critics have warned that the attacks violate international law, bypass Congress, and risk further instability across Venezuela and the wider region. But they didn't care when Obama killed Osama without congressional approval, or when Biden killed, captured or killed, who was it? Gaddafi? I think. They didn't care about that without congressional approval. But when Trump does it, it's racist, guys. So don't do it. Here's U.S. chopper hit. Here's Dan Kane talking. We already watched
the
this,
target
so
area. The helicopters
this.
came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States, and in support of a request from the...
We already watched this in a stream the other day, so I'm going to skip this one. But here's Maduro coming home. Maduro coming home to America. This is your home now, buddy. There's no audio here. Oh, yeah, there is. I think he says Merry Christmas. He says Happy New Year.
Good night.
Good night.
Happy New Year.
Good night. Happy New Year. Good night, America. Good night. Happy New Year. I am going to jail for a very long time.
Good night. Good night. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, America. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. What else we got? So that's Maduro getting walked in. We got his mugshot in the thumbnail. We got him coming off the plane. So proof of life has been shown. That was a big issue for the first couple hours because I was streaming all night when this happened. There were demands for life, calls to show sign of life, and we've shown plenty. Now I'm going to look at a little bit of the reaction of Venezuelans around the world. Well, this is more so just Miami, so I don't want to be misleading. They say they're celebrating around the world, but most of the video we're seeing is coming from Miami, which is where a lot of the illegal Venezuelans who are fleeing the communist dictatorship, terrorist communist dictatorship of Maduro come to America, and they land in Miami. Cuba, they come from Cuba, Venezuela. Cuba's probably the middle ground between the two. And they come to America, they land in Miami, they land on the beach, they're safe. But a lot of them are saying, we never wanted to come here. We had to come here to flee from Maduro. Now that he's gone, we want to go home. So there's another thing. Another thing this does, it helps with the immigration issue. If a lot of Venezuelans are like, okay, I'm going to go home to my family now. I go home to my family. There's no more terrorism. Oh, this is not in Miami. This is in Peru. So it is all over the world. I had only seen videos from Miami. I thought... Libertad. Libertad.
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Al fin, señor, gracias.
I go to a escuela in Venezuela. They look happy.
Por fin, bendice a
Spain. Spain. You see that, Auntie? You are Hispanic if you live in Spain.
Los memes de nuestra felicidad.
He's looking at me from Maduro running through the street with boxes. Everybody's stuck to their phones all over the world.
Y este personaje
Chile, Santiago. They're celebrating all over the world. They are in the streets celebrating all over the world. I was totally wrong when I said most of those videos are from Miami. I just hadn't watched this yet. I watched another video. Damn, they're everywhere. Look at this. You don't always have to protest when you go to the streets. You could celebrate too. Where are we going next? Where are we going to Miami? Miami. Ooh, we just stepped the tempo up a bit. Argentina. Hey, where's Chauffeur? He's in Argentina.
Vamos, vamos.
So they don't have it on here, but then also they're celebrating in America. So all over the world they're celebrating. 45-year mystery solved by JS with one unrelated news clip. What was the 45-year mystery? Trump's plan to seize and revitalize Venezuela's oil industry faces major hurdles. So oil is an important factor here. BRICS is an important factor. The fentanyl and the drugs. Now they're saying cocaine, but the cocaine is fentanyl laced. It's fent too. That's coming from China. President Donald Trump's plan to take control of Venezuela's oil industry and ask American companies to revitalize it after capturing President Nicolas Maduro in a raid isn't likely to have significant immediate impacts on oil prices. Venezuela's oil industry is in disrepair after years of neglect and international sanctions. So it could take from our enemies, and it could take years and major investments before production can increase dramatically. But some analysts are optimistic that Venezuela could double or triple its current output of about 1.1 million barrels of oil a day to return to historic levels fairly quickly. While many are reporting Venezuela's oil infrastructure was unharmed by U.S. military actions, it has been decaying for many, many years and will take time to rebuild, said Patrick DeHaan, who is the lead petroleum analyst at gasoline price tracker Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy. Now, here's a problem. If Venezuela is supplying oil to our enemies, and our enemies are trying to incorporate Venezuela into BRICS for that access, and now we've done this, maybe our enemies get pissed at us, China, Russia, the Middle East, maybe they get pissed at us, and now they want to retaliate for what we did to Venezuela because they were going after Venezuela. That could be a negative aspect of this. That economist that I was listening to, he was a Trump hater, but I was trying to hear about the other side, what they're saying, the arguments against this. And the economic argument is that this is going to hurt the cost of our dollar. He was arguing that the world is inevitably going to move towards new types of currency, like what BRICS is doing, and digital currencies and all of this stuff, or like a CDC, like a centralized digital currency. That was inevitable, and that we're moving towards that. And what the Trump administration is doing with Venezuela is trying to keep the petrodollar alive and keep us on this currency. But regardless, the dollar is still going to crumble, and it's going to crumble faster because of what Trump did here, because our enemies and other countries that we've worked with, because they have resources, they're not going to trust us. They're going to pull out of the dollar. And it's basically Trump's just trying to delay the inevitable, keep the petrodollar alive, and it's dying, and it's going to die. This is what this guy's argument. And that's one of the negative outcomes of this, is it is going to hurt our grocery prices. It is going to hurt the value of our dollar. Maybe it helps oil prices. Oil prices are already down, though. Gas prices are already down. So, but I think they're going to go. I think that guy is just anti-Trump, so he's looking for any possible problems he can find. What's up, Abby? I don't really believe that. Now we're going to watch Rubio. It's 18 minutes, so I'm kind of going to just play it and not react too much uninterrupted, but I love this interview. Like, he nails every question, and he's a beast in this interview right here. This is Meet the Press from NBC. I might have to run to the bathroom while this is playing, but let's listen.
Of State Marco Rubio. Secretary Rubio, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to start with this big picture question. Is the United States now at war with Venezuela?
No.
There's not a war. I mean, we are at war against drug trafficking organizations. It's not a war against Venezuela. We are enforcing American laws with regards to oil sanctions. We have sanctioned entities. We go to court. We get a warrant. We seize those boats with oil, and that will continue. We would continue to reserve the right to take strikes against drug boats that are bringing drugs towards the United States that are being operated by transnational criminal organizations, including the Cartel de los Sols. Of course, the leader of that cartel is now in U.S. custody and facing U.S. justice in the Southern District of New York, and that's Nicolas Maduro. So we made a big progress in that regard.
Mr. Secretary, who is in charge? Are you running Venezuela right now?
Yeah, I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term. We'd love to see all kinds of changes. But the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States.
I gotta turn
That's
my
why
heat
we're
off.
involved here, because of how it applies and has a direct impact on the United States. Okay, we are not going to be able to allow in our hemisphere a country that becomes a crossroads for the activities of all of our adversaries around the world. We just can't allow it. We can't have a country where the people in charge of its military and in charge of its police department are openly cooperating with drug trafficking organizations. We're not going to allow that. These things are direct threats to the United States, and we intend to use
Happy New
every
Year's,
element
Chair.
of leverage that we have to ensure that that changes. The one I would point everyone to
I
is
need
that our military
a new
is
chair.
helping
My
the Coast Guard
armrest is
conduct a
falling
law
apart.
enforcement function,
It's
which is
annoying.
not just the capture of Maduro, but the enforcement of our sanctions. We go to court, we get a warrant, we seize the boats.
But
And we think that's
don't
tremendous
interrupt.
leverage, incredible, crippling leverage, which we intend to continue to use until we see the changes that we need to see that are benefit to the American people. And by the way, we believe to the people of Venezuela as well.
But Mr. Secretary, I think there's a lot of questions about who the point people are during this transition. President Trump said, we're going to run the country. So is it you? Is it Secretary Hegseth? Who are those people who will be running the country specifically?
Well, it's not running, it's running policy. The policy with regards to this. We want Venezuela to move in a certain direction because not only do we think it's good for the people of Venezuela, it's in our national interest. It either touches on something that's a threat to our national security or touches on something that's either beneficial or harmful.
And are you involved in that transition,
So obviously
Secretary?
I'm very involved in this.
Obviously, I'm
Well,
very
of course.
involved in
I
this.
mean, I think everyone knows I'm pretty involved on politics in this hemisphere. Obviously, as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, very involved in all these elements. The Department of War plays a very important role here, along with the Department of Justice, for example, because they're the ones that have to go to court. So this is a team effort by the entire national security apparatus of our country, but it is running this policy. And the goal of the policy is to see changes in Venezuela that are beneficial to the United States, first and foremost, because that's who we work for, but also, we believe, beneficial for the people of Venezuela, who have suffered tremendously. We want a better future for Venezuela, and we think a better future for the people of Venezuela also is stabilizing for the region and makes the neighborhood we live in a much better.
That's
and
our
safer
backyard.
place.
President Trump said the administration is working with Maduro's Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez. Why does the administration
Why don't you lead
oppose
with that?
working with the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado? She's the Nobel Peace Prize winner, of course, as well. Her coalition has the support of 70% of Venezuelans. Why not work with her?
Well, a couple things. First of all, Maria Corina Machado is fantastic, and she's someone I've known for a very long time.
But she's not the vice president.
The whole movement is. But we are dealing with the immediate reality. The immediate reality is that unfortunately, and sadly, but unfortunately, the vast majority of the opposition is no longer present inside of Venezuela. We have short-term things that have to be addressed right away. We all wish to see a bright future for Venezuela, a transition to democracy. All of these things are great, and we all want to see that. I've worked on that for 15 years on a personal level, both in the Senate and now as National Security Advisor.
And then people are saying a transition to democracy, a threat, our neighbors, blah, blah. These are all words that neocons use to go to war. But I think this is more, it is closer to imperialism than it is to neocon warmongering, war hawks that just want to keep us in endless conflicts to increase the dollar value in the military industrial complex. This is not the same as that. This is different. This is it's more imperialist. It's more like expanding our grip and strengthening our nation by expansion. It's not non-interventionist. It's not isolationist. It's not quite imperialism, but it's getting close to it. So I know the American First anti, any sort of intervention in anything, those people aren't going to be happy. And I'm not a war fan. I'm not a war hawk. I'm not a neocon, but I've been saying this is something we should do for years. And now if we go try to take over Europe, that'd probably be a problem. But we're going to stabilize our neighborhood.
Secretary of State. These are things I still
And
care about. We
benefit,
still care
and help
about.
the people
What
there
we're
all at
talking
the
about is
same
what
time.
happens over the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, and how that ties to the national interest of the United States. And so we expect to see more compliance and cooperation than we were previously receiving. With Nicolas Maduro, you could not make a deal or an arrangement. Although he, by the way, was given very generous offers. He could have left Venezuela as recently as, a week and a half ago. There were opportunities available for him to avoid all of this because he's not someone we can work with. He suckered the Biden administration into stupid deals. He's made a career out of not keeping deals and figuring out how to save himself by buying time. And President Trump was not going to fall into that trap. So now there are other people in charge of the military and police apparatus there. They're going to have to decide now what direction they want to go. And we hope they will choose a different direction than the one Nicolas Maduro picked. Ultimately, we hope this leads to a holistic transition all the way around in Venezuela, societal, political, all of that. We're in favor of all of that. But right now, we have to take the first steps. And the first steps are securing what's in the national interest of the United States and also beneficial to the people of Venezuela. And those are the things that we're focused on right now. No more drug trafficking, no more Iran, Hezbollah presence there, and no more using the oil industry to enrich all our adversaries around the world.
I don't know if Operation Paperclip is bringing all of Europe to America.
Benefiting the United States and the region.
You talk about a holistic transition. I think there's a lot of focus on potential elections. How soon will elections be held? Within 30 days, Mr. Secretary?
Elections? Well, look, this is a country that's been governed by this regime now for 14 or 15 years. The elections should have happened a long time ago. The elections did happen. They lost them, and they didn't count the votes, or they refused to count the votes, and everyone knows
They just kept Maduro in.
All of that, I think, is premature at this point. There's a lot of work to be done here. Right now,
you talk about elections?
Let's be realistic here. What we are focused on right now
is
all of the problems we had with when Maduro was there. We still have those problems in terms of them needing to be addressed. We are going to give people an opportunity to address those challenges and those problems. Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States. We will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned with court orders. We will continue to do that and potentially other things until the things we need to see addressed are addressed. Because ultimately, above everything else, we care about elections, we care about democracy, we care about all of that. But the number one thing we care about is the safety, security, well-being, and prosperity of the United States. And that's what we're going to focus on first and foremost here.
Let's go.
And that's what these policies, these changes we need to see made are about.
Okay, significant there. You say you will continue to seize boats when necessary. I want to ask you about boots on the ground. A lot
just because Maduro's gone doesn't mean they get to
the
take.
President was asked
the cartels
about the
are still going to be
US
there.
boots
They're
on
going
the
to have a
ground. He
power
said, quote,
system
"We're
set
not
up."
afraid of it." How many U.S. forces are on the ground right now in Venezuela?
None. They were on the ground during the operation.
We don't have U.S. forces on the ground in Venezuela. No, we don't have U.S. forces on the ground. Everyone knows. They were on the ground for about 2 hours when they went to capture Maduro. And I think what the president is saying is very simple, and that is, as president of the United States, he is not going to go around telling people what he's not going to do. He's not going to go around saying, I won't do this, I won't do that. Yes, I care about this issue, but I'll only go so far.
He's also not going to tell. He's also not going to tell people what he is going to do. He's not going to tell people what he's not going to do. He's not going to tell people what he is going to do. They're like, leading up to this, they're like, are we doing a potential regime change in Venezuela? And he's denying it. He's saying no. And then the left will be like, he lied. He's lying because he doesn't want our enemies to know that we're about to attack them. Yes, there were hints. There was a lead up to this. And smart people probably called it. And then they're going to say he lied about it. Yeah, he lied about it. Because he doesn't want them to know. You don't tell your enemy exactly what you're going to do. Sometimes you mislead them. Sometimes you have to mislead your people in order to mislead your enemy. Because if your people know the truth, your enemy knows the truth. Yup. And that's ethical and moral.
In the particular case you're citing, this was, in essence, at its core, a law enforcement function. Okay, the Department of Justice, dating back in the Biden administration, that had a $25 million reward for his capture. So we have a reward for his capture, but we're not going to enforce it. That's the difference between President Trump and everybody else. All these, it's easy to make a wanted poster and say $50 million for the capture of Maduro, but no one takes that seriously because you're not going to do anything about it. President Trump did something about it.
Let me ask
you. He did something about it. We went in, we grabbed him, he was arrested, and he's now in New York. No Americans were killed, no equipment was lost. It had to be done, and it's been done. And I assure you, the people left behind in Venezuela now that are in charge of the police and everything else, I assure you, they're going to probably be a lot more compliant than Maduro was as a result of this.
Well, President Trump told the New York Post there won't be troops in Venezuela as long as Delcy Rodriguez, quote, does what we want. She's already, though, demanding the release of Nicolas Maduro. As you know, she's insisting that her country never become a colony.
She better watch out.
What exactly does Rodriguez need to do to keep U.S. troops out of Venezuela?
She needs to shut her mouth and do what we tell her to do.
Well, forget about the U.S. troops portion of it. What needs to happen for any of this to change, for our relations with Venezuela to change and our whole approach to it to change, the things we have talked about are the ones I've highlighted already. You can't flood this country with gang members. You can't flood this country with drugs that are coming out of Colombia through Venezuela with the cooperation of elements of your security forces. You can't turn Venezuela into the operating hub for Iran, for Russia, for Hezbollah, for China, for the Cuban intelligence agents that control that country. That cannot continue. Those things cannot continue to be in place. You cannot continue to have the largest oil reserves, in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, not benefiting the people of Venezuela and stolen by a handful of oligarchs around the world, including inside of Venezuela, but not benefiting the people of that country. We've seen how our adversaries all over the world are exploiting and extracting resources from Africa, from every other country. They're not going to do it in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah. They are not. That is not going to happen under President Trump. Read our national security strategy. He is serious about it, and he's going to do something about it, and we're doing something about it.
Let me ask you about oil. The president says the U.S. is taking over the oil.
Let's go,
The question is, I guess, if the purpose of the operation was to capture Maduro and bring him to justice.
Yeah, they might get her out of there and get that other girl in there.
Need to
that
take
other
over
lady, that Maria, blah, 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 Maria Rodriguez, Gonzalez, Consuela. She won the Nobel Peace Prize, and then she said this should have gone to Donald Trump. She said she would give it to him if she could. So, maybe they get her in there. Now, you know how I feel about women in politics in general, but, maybe a strong Latina woman might be good to run a country. She will keep them in line.
Venezuelan oil industry.
Well, we don't need to. First of all, let me go back up. We don't need Venezuela's oil. We have plenty of oil in the United States. What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries of the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil? Why does Russia need their oil? Why does Iran need their oil? They're not even in this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States.
Have specific oil companies.
We also want to see that oil and the proceeds from it. Hold on. We want to see the oil proceeds of that country benefit the people of Venezuela. Why have 8 million people left Venezuela? 8 million, the single largest mass migration probably in modern history, left Venezuela since 2014 because all the wealth of that country was stolen to the benefit of Maduro and his cronies in the regime, but not to the benefit of people of Venezuela. You know how destabilizing 8 million migrants is? The number one fear that Brazil has, that Colombia has, that all these countries in the region have about what's happening in Venezuela and our involvement is they're afraid of another mass migration event. That's what they fear. This is deeply destabilizing stuff. It's not going to continue to happen. They are not going to come from outside of our hemisphere, destabilize our region in our own backyard, and us have to pay the price for it. Not under President Trump.
Let's talk big picture here. U.S. regime change, historically speaking, has not gone very well for the United States. In Iraq, in Libya, to name a few examples. Can you assure Americans, the people of the United States, that this time will be different?
Well, here's what's happened. We've got this phobia built up and this sort of thing that's it's like, number one, most of the experts that people have on television, I watch these experts and it's clown hour. Okay, these are people that have focused their entire career on the Middle East or some other part of the world because that's where all the action was. Very few of them know anything about Venezuela or the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela looks nothing like Libya. It looks nothing like Iraq. It looks nothing like Afghanistan. It looks nothing like the Middle East other than the Iranian agents that are running through their plotting against America. Okay? These are Western countries with long traditions among their at a people-to-people and cultural level and ties to the United States. So there's nothing like that. So I think people need to stop ascribing the apples and oranges here, the apples of the Middle East to the oranges of the Western Hemisphere.
But do you...
Number two, this is about the national interest of the United States. And what I'm confident of is we are in a safer and better place because we're taking it seriously. The alternative would have been to leave Maduro there as an indicted drug trafficker, illegitimate president, running the country, open invitation for all of our adversaries to do whatever they want against the United States from Venezuela. That was not going to continue. What the alternative would have been to allow a drug trafficker to continue to use national territory and elements of nation-state power to further drug trafficking organizations. Read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers,
move drugs,
but to cooperate and facilitate the trafficking of drugs for the purpose of getting them into the United States. And that's going to stop.
And yet, Mr. Secretary, a month ago, President Trump pardoned the former president of Honduras.
And he answers this great. He's like, well, just listen, but basically he's like, okay, well, I didn't read about that. He said, Trump says he has a reason, but regardless, even if that was a mistake, we could argue over that. The Honduran president being pardoned, we can argue over that. And let's say that it was wrong. Trump was wrong for doing that. That doesn't mean that this isn't right. It's a whataboutism. It doesn't matter.
Who was just starting a 45-year sentence for trafficking more than 500 tons of cocaine. Does that not undercut the administration's stated goal, as you just said, to go after these narco-terrorists?
Number one, the former president of Honduras. So this is not someone who was in power, had any influence with the politics of Honduras any longer. Number two, I don't do the pardon file. I'm not against it or for it. I just didn't review the file, so I can't speak to you about the dynamics that led the president to make the decision that he made. I think he talked about it yesterday at the press conference. He reviewed the file. He went through the arguments in it, and he felt that the former president of Honduras was treated very unfairly by the previous administration and made the decision that he made. But I think the answer, whether you agree with that decision or not,
it was a Biden era.
There's people out there who make a living out of disagreeing with anything President Trump does. That doesn't mean you leave Maduro in place. That doesn't mean you don't go after Maduro. That's not the answer. I see people saying that. It's like, well, you know, how can you go after Maduro if you didn't do this? That's absurd. The answer to that, whether you have a problem with it or not, is not to leave in place someone who's been indicted, who hasn't even faced American justice yet, but now will.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I was referencing, obviously, the former president. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles told Vanity Fair that an attack on Venezuela's mainland would require approval from Congress. Why didn't that happen, and will it happen with any future action the administration plans to take?
You know how I know it wouldn't? Because it happened.
This was not an action that this was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion. This is not an extended military operation. This is a very precise operation that involved a couple of hours of action. It was a very delicate operation, too. It was one that required all these conditions to be in place at the right time in the right place. You couldn't afford leaks. We couldn't afford anything out there that would have endangered the mission and gotten people killed or killed off the mission and the optionality. We didn't even know if the mission was going to happen. How can you notify something you're not even sure if it can happen? Because in order for it to happen, you needed to have weather conditions in place. He needed to be at the right place at the right time. We needed to have forces prepared to go. There were a lot of factors in place. It was a trigger-based operation. But you can't notify that, number one, because you don't even know if it's going to happen, if those conditions will ever align. And number two, you can't risk it being disclosed. But this was not an attack on Venezuela. This was a law enforcement function to capture an indicted drug trafficker. And of course, we needed the Department of War to support it because they do have anti-aircraft missiles that could shoot down those helicopters.
But will you?
We had to take down radar.
Targeted
we had to take down those anti-air elements
to get a guy
on the way in and on the way out, and that's what this was limited to.
But will you seek congressional approval for any further action in Venezuela or the region?
Well, we will seek congressional approval for actions that require congressional approval.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they will get congressional notification. And this is not an operation that required congressional approval. In fact, this is an operation akin to what virtually every single president for the last 40 years has conducted. The difference is that when it's Donald Trump, all these Democrats go bonkers.
Is the Cuban government the Trump administration's next target, Mr. Secretary?
Here we go.
Very quickly.
Well, the Cuban government is a huge problem. Yeah, the
get ready,
Cuba. Is a huge problem. First of all,
2026, Cuba.
But I don't think
get
people
ready.
fully appreciate. I think they're in a lot of trouble. Yes.
Colombia, Cuba, get ready, because this shit's about to get heavy.
So I'm not going to talk to you about what our future steps are going to be and our policies are going to be right now.
We're not going to tell
but I don't
you
think
what
it's
we're
any
going to
mystery
do and
that
what we're
we're
not going to
big
do.
fans of the Cuban regime, who, by the way, are the ones that were propping up Maduro. His entire internal security force, his internal security apparatus is entirely controlled by Cubans. One of the untold stories here is how, in essence, you talk about colonization, because I think you said Dulce Rodriguez mentioned that. The ones who have sort of colonized, at least inside the regime, are Cubans. It was Cubans that guarded Maduro. He was not guarded by Venezuelan bodyguards. He had Cuban bodyguards. In terms of their internal intelligence, who spies on who inside to make sure there are no traitors, those are all Cubans.
All right. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, thank you for joining us after an incredibly busy 48 hours. Really appreciate it.
We thank you for watching.
We're going for Cuba next. Here's some Utah Venezuelans celebrating. Miami, they were celebrating. And across the world, they were celebrating. We're so happy. Venezuelans in Utah elated at President Maduro's removal. They did have a protest at our Capitol, I think yesterday. I didn't know about it in time. It would have been funny to go out there, but there was only like 10 people. There's like 10 people, basically. 10 white old liberals saying, free Maduro. Wait, I thought you said no kings. They had a king down there. He stole an election. I thought you didn't like that stuff. Now you want the king back down in Venezuela, huh? Ah, you people are retards. But these people are based. Some Venezuelans from Utah celebrating. Let's go. But now, let's look at the Muslim news source, Al Jazeera. Trump threatens Colombia's Petro. Says Cuba looks ready to fall. U.S. President says a military operation in Colombia sounds good to him and warns Mexico to get their act together. All of Latin America, you about to get in line, buddy. You about to get in line. Liberate Saskatchewan and Alberta. Is that Canadian? We might have to look at Canada, too. Might have to look at Canada. United States President Donald Trump has threatened military action against his Colombia counterpart, Gustavo Petro. Oh, I thought this was about threatens Colombia's Petro. I thought they were talking about their oil, but no, it's their following Washington's abduction of Venezuelan leader, said he believed the government in Cuba, too, was likely to fall soon. That's foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing. Trump's comments on Sunday came amid a growing outcry over the brazen abduction of Nicolas Maduro, with Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Uruguay, and Spain condemning the U.S. action. Excuse me. U.S. action as a dangerous precedent for peace and regional security. Yeah. They're going to fall in line. And Spain. Spain is in Europe. They're white. What the? Trump told reporters on board Air Force One that Venezuela and Colombia were very sick and that the government in Bogota was run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you. Trump said, referring to Petro, when asked if he meant a U.S. operation against Colombia, Trump said, sounds good to me. Get ready, Colombia. Better tighten up. You better tighten up. 2026. Grab your balls, America. I'm sick of these fucking Latinos. I'm stirring my soup with my dick. In a series of lengthy posts on X, Petro noted that the U.S. is the first country in the world to bomb a South American capital in all of human history. But he said revenge was not the answer. Yeah, good luck. Give it a shot, buddy. Instead, Latin America must unite, Petro said, and become a region with the capacity to understand, trade, and join together with the world. We protect all your trade because you're our neighbors. You can't trade if we say so. America controls all the trade, all the maritime trade for all of North America, which is, well, Venezuela counts as South America, but Mexico, Canada, the U.S., and kind of by proxy, we basically manage their trade too. And we protect it. And that ain't happening no more. Tighten up. Shape up or ship out. Instead, warning to Venezuela, Mexico, Cuba. U.S. forces seized Maduro in Caracas early on Saturday. Maduro denies allegations, and critics say the U.S. toppling a Venezuelan leader was aimed at taking control of the country's vast oil reserves. That's part of it. Delcy Rodriguez. And then here's Trump from BBC. We need Greenland. He's bringing up Greenland again. Oh, snap. Remember we did the Is Trump an Imperialist episode a long time ago? Oh, no. Let's see what he says here.
I don't want to talk about Greenland. Let's talk about Venezuela, Russia.
See, he said, I don't want to talk about Greenland because they keep asking him about Greenland.
We'll worry about Greenland in about 2 months. Let's talk about Greenland.
2 months we'll worry about Greenland.
20 days.
On Venezuela, we talk so much about energy.
By the way, I will say this about Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic.
For space.
Right now, Greenland is covered with Russia.
I'm telling y'all, it's space. We need Greenland for space for national security. Because the Star Wars is coming.
And Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
All right. We need Greenland. Now, he's not saying we're going to conquer Greenland. He's just trying to get them to work with us. So, and maybe we buy Greenland. What's the population of Greenland? 50,000? Yeah, but it's a massive chunk of land. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Iceland. Wait. No, Greenland is the icy one, and it's the big one. Iceland is the green one, and it's, I don't know. One of them's really big. But yeah, Greenland is very cold. It's very icy. The strategic advantage of Greenland is it's a great place. It's a great point for space command, for a giant space command. And we got a space war coming. The threat is not boats and planes anymore. The threat is freaking satellites with freaking lasers on their freaking heads. The space war's coming. All right. So that's that. I don't have any memes this week. We might start backing off of the memes. We'll still do meme review. We'll still do meme review every now and then, but not all every week anymore. Because I just don't have time to put it all together. Especially if I'm going to be doing more debate. Speaking of, I finished writing my thing finally. I'm all ready to go. We got a debate tomorrow against Marte about racism. And I love debating black people about racism. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Because it's not real. The only way we overcome this racial divide, which doesn't make sense, we have to stop giving that word power. Stop arguing for the lie. So I'm here to destroy the lie. Open all in new window. All right. We got some funny reels, though. We do have some funny reels. 1 second. Large area, lots of natural resources, plus it piss rush off. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to it. Naval, resources, landmass in the middle of, a barrier between Europe and America, and space force resource. It could be a giant space station. All right, let's watch some funny reels, do some rapid fire news, and then at the end of rapid fire news, we're going to actually drill down into a story, and so it won't actually all be rapid fire. But it's a rapid fire worthy story, but we're going to look a little deeper into this fire at this ski resort. Let's see some funny reels first. You ready to go? All right. Also, guys, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to help with the dono goal, we had a great weekend this past weekend. Consider sending a dono, but if you can't, just make sure you hit the like button and share the stream out to any of your friend groups, your Discords, your social media pages, anything like that. Share it. Let's listen to this. This guy's actual interactions my wife and I have when a new Magic set drops.
7 days.
No, I don't know.
Is everyone else spending $1,200 in 7 days?
No, I don't know. I don't know if they're serious. If they're serious, they are. If they actually want to fucking catch them all, that's what they're fucking doing.
If they actually want to fucking catch them all, you want to catch them all, you got to catch them all. If you want to catch them all, you better be spending $1,200 on the new Pokemon set.
I'm fucking doing.
I don't think. Is everyone else spending $1,200 in 7 days?
No, I don't know. I don't know if they're serious. If they're serious, they are. If they actually want to fucking catch them all, that's what they're fucking doing. That's what I'm fucking doing.
I don't think. Is everyone?
Fuck. Based. Dude, get that woman in line. Don't be worried about me spending money on my Pokemon cards. Trying to catch them all. Check this out. This music's going to get copyrighted, but I'll cut it out later. But this kid's epic. Watch this kid.
I believe I can.
Ready? He's going to dunk. He's going to dunk. Oh.
I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day.
He was nowhere close, but he thought he could do it. He had the confidence. Let's see it one more time.
I believe
Ready?
I can fly.
Get it, go.
I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day.
Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I hear Netflix is striking channels for doing negative commentary on the Stranger Things episode. I have not seen the season finale yet. Don't spoil it for me. But we're still joking about Will being gay. This is the Stranger Things scene that we all wanted.
I don't like girls.
I'm sorry?
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Sorry, just...
Wait, this is how it works.
Thank you.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You just put the hot dog in the donut. Will, it's not that difficult. Okay? You don't want it to go in the duty hole. Let's check this out. Least attractive male hobby.
We are cooked.
Playing video games, collecting figurines,
okay,
crypto,
we are
online
cooked.
trolling, and gambling.
Yeah, we are absolutely cooked. Okay, we are cooked.
Least attractive male hobbies. I don't gamble a lot, and I like crypto. I would be into it, but I'm broke. But the rest of these definitely cooked. They don't have playing collectible card games. Usually that's on the list. I get that category. What do we got here? This is not really a funny reel, but this is crazy. This car crashes, flips into this house, and you see the passenger get ejected and land in the swimming pool. and then it's just like a person floating there. I'm assuming since it's on Fox News and you can just watch it, that the person didn't die, or they wouldn't show this because it would be too graphic. But I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Watch this. It's crazy. Boom! And there's the person floating in the water. I've zoomed in on it. You can tell this is a person. You see their arms, their legs, and the head is right here. But watch it one more time. Very quick. Boom! They fly out the front window. Crazy. Let me see if it says in the news story if the person lived. Goes airborne, ejects the driver into a private swimming pool. Driver allegedly speeding moments before failing to stop and slammed through a concrete wall. Footage shows the impact, sending the white vehicle rotating through the air in the dark. Strikes the roof. After the crash, the driver is seen floating in the pool after being ejected from her vehicle. I figured something happened. Everything was just blown up the patio of the ground. The lady is floating in my pool. I popped the cover on and thought I needed to tell my wife something. Grace of God, I'm here. If I was standing there, I would have been dead. Driver landed in the shallow end of the pool. She was blessed and I was blessed. Vehicle landed in a difficult position for a tow truck to use a crane to remove it from the backyard. Driver was taken to a hospital. So the driver lived. Just ended up floating face up in the pool. That's crazy. 6 out of 10 for the landing. You didn't stick the landing. Island boy Frankie Vegas spent New Year's in jail after his third arrest. Oh, hold on. You guys can't see the... 1 second. I'll fix this. Frankie Vegas goes to jail for having drugs. He had a pill bottle with fentanyl residue. He had fentanyl residue on his credit card. He had other pills like Ambien. I'm an island boy, and I'm about to get raped in it. But Frankie was arrested again for the third time in Florida. This time he is locked up for alleged drug-related offenses. Fresh mugshot showing his face tats and grill. Dang, that's like Uncle Juice Juice. If Uncle Juice Juice took his ski mask off, that's what his face looks like. Following the rest, Naples and drug paraphernalia, still behind bars. Already out on bond from an arrest in February. He had no bond as he was on a hold, so he doesn't get bonded out this time. Drug possession, drug paraphernalia, some fentanyl stuff. So he might be a prison boy for a while now. What's next? 10 people convicted of cyberbullying France's first lady. Some Brigitte Macron updates, because we've been following this. You know, I've never been a Candace Owens fan. And I don't know if there's any truth to her allegations personally. Just off hunch, you know. Maybe there's not total evidence. I thought that Candace's series was compelling. I know a lot of people don't. I thought it was compelling. And just off of hunch, just off of vibes, just off of feelings. When I see Brigitte Macron, yo.
It's a man, baby.
Come on now. Come on now. And with the scarf and the throat surgery that they alleged, the scarf for years, come on. That's a man. That's a man, baby.
It's a man, baby.
Well, 10 people who falsely claimed that Brigitte Macron, France's first lady, was born male, were found guilty on Monday of online harassment. One received a jail sentence and a fine. Luckily, I'm not in Europe, so I'm not going to go to jail for what I say on social media just yet. Maybe after Trump is out of office. But currently, I'm going to say I suspect, I believe, I don't know, but I believe that that's a man, baby. You know?
It's a man, baby.
Toxic online culture. Ten people arrested them. The 10 people convicted at the Paris trial were aged 41 to 65, according to evidence read out in court during the trial. Some of their comments suggested that the Macron's relationship amounted to pedophilia, prosecutors said before the trial. Well, if you believe the allegations and you look at all the circumstantial evidence, it does seem like there was some weird stuff going on there. 3 of the defendants have been identified by prosecutors. So anyway, France locking people up for speech. Yeah, just yet is right. Kind of scary. Right. I don't know if Brigitte is a man, but she is a bitch that keeps beating up her husband. Well, that's a pretty masculine thing to do, right? What else we got? This is an old story that the Hodge twins just posted recently, and I had to call them the Beta twins and tell them that they had an L take. But this was from like October of last year, and I never talked about it. I never saw it. Michigan, they're trying to do a bill to ban pornography. Experts raise privacy concerns over Michigan bill targeting pornography and VPNs. Lansing, Michigan, a new Michigan bill aimed at banning online pornography is drawing concern from privacy and cybersecurity experts, not just for its moral stance, but for its potential impact on virtual private networks, tools millions of people use for security and remote work. Representative Josh Scriver, the bill's sponsor, says the law is designed to target only producers and distributors. What about actors? What about people who participate? What about participators of pornography? Not everyday internet users. The only function of this policy will be to criminalize the production and dissemination of porn, he said. Still, experts warn of a broader consequence. Matthew Burke, Chief Information Security Officer for Bespoke Concierge Maryland, said if they go to block all VPNs, then the remote workforce course would have to find a new way to secure their connection back to the office, adding that it would cost businesses more money and to re-engineer a perfectly good platform that's worked for years. So basically they're trying to do a porn ban, and Hodge twins are like, oh, if they come after the porn, it's not long before they come after other forms of speech. And I was like, oh, Beta twins, this is an L take. Porn is not protected speech, and it should not be protected expression. You wouldn't want people performing pornographic acts in the town square. If it's free speech, if it's free expression, then we should just be able to shoot a porn in the middle of the town square. No, of course you can't do that. You're not a free speech absolutist unless you're a nasty, degenerate piece of crap. I don't want people doing porn in the middle of the town square. So no, that's not protected speech. That's not protected expression. Ban it. The end. Next. This is Utah, a little local Utah news. I've always told you guys Utah is essentially a soft sanctuary city. We don't identify as a sanctuary city. We're not an official sanctuary city, but because of our Marxist mayor, Aaron Mendenhall, and the very liberal policies due to the weakening of the Mormons and just the liberalizing of everything, Salt Lake City is like a soft sanctuary city. We have a lot of immigrants here too, and they get protected and they get propped up. We probably got daycare scams going on, which that's another thing. I don't have that here, but I'll come back to that in a second, actually. Let me, what was it called? Kids daycare, Salt Lake City. Fun Time Kids Care. Hold on one second. I forgot to add this to the show and talk about this over the weekend. Okay. We'll check that out in a second. But another Democrat, this one, the son of a Somali immigrant, is running for Utah's new left-leaning congressional seat. He is young, black, and Muslim, because that's what's important when we're looking for politicians. We want them to be young, black, and Muslim. It says he can bring fresh voices to the state's politics. The latest Democrat to jump into the increasingly crowded race to represent the newly drawn 1st congressional district, because we just redistricted. It was a big debate here, which I unfortunately didn't spend a lot of time looking deeply into it, but we talked about it a couple times. Yeah, we covered it. Yeah. Actually, that was one of the things Mike Lee talked about in his interview with Charlie Kirk the day before Charlie Kirk got shot. They were talking about the redistricting in Utah. But anyway, so we have a new congressional district seat. And we got this guy, Liban Mohammed. He's a son of a Somali immigrant. He's black and he's Muslim and he's 27 years old. Mohammed, who announced his candidacy Monday morning, told the Salt Lake Tribune that the newly created U.S. House District is a beautiful opportunity and a new chapter for the state of Utah. I am the captain of Utah now. I will be the captain now. I will build the Leering Center. We need Leering Centers in Utah. Utah, you need Leering Centers. This is the moment that we really need to focus on finding a leader that's unique and a leader that you are not leading nobody here. Okay, buddy? This is Utah. This ain't going to fly, by the way. I pray to God. But I don't think this is going to fly. My prediction, this guy ain't winning nothing. But it is just interesting to see that even in Utah, we got damn Somali politicians trying to take over. Some bullshit. All right. Now, before we go to this ski resort story, side note, speaking of local news, the stuff with the daycares and stuff like that.
Horrifying, shaky viral videos show the moment a fire broke out at the New Year's party.
There is a 10 or 15-year-old conspiracy theory. And this was a viral Reddit story, I think 10 to 15 years ago. It went viral on Reddit, and it's been on YouTube channels like Wendy Goon. Big conspiracy theory channels have talked about this. I've talked about it on my channel. I have a video where I go by this place and I record it and I talk about this. I talked about this 5-6 years ago. This is a known like conspiracy local to Salt Lake City. There's this place called the Fun Time Kids Care Daycare. If you just go to YouTube and type in Fun Time Kids Care, you'll see all these videos. All these videos. All these videos about Fun Time Kids Care. This is a daycare center in Salt Lake City. And just when you see it, it's creepy looking. And I go by this place every day on the way to and from work. I've never seen a kid there. I've never seen a human being there. Nobody's ever seen a kid there. The windows are odd, and they're all covered up by drawings. The same drawings, the same newspaper articles, the same drawings, the papers that are blocking the windows have been there for at least 10 years. I've seen the same papers on those windows for 8 years. They're the same papers that have been covering the windows for 10 years. And there was theories about this place. Some of the conspiracy theories was it's a child sex trafficking scam. It's some sort of human trafficking thing. Some people said it was a meth lab or a drug place. Some people just said it's a closed down daycare that they haven't sold the property yet. When I dug deeper, I found out that the owner of this place did die like 8 years ago. And then he left it to his mom. She took care of it for a while. And some people, whenever you post about this or talk about this on the internet, there's always a random person that'll be like, my dad went there. And I'm like, I don't know. Is this just like some sort of bot? There's a whole conspiracy around this place. And now that we know about these daycare scandals, this could potentially be a candidate here in Salt Lake City. I just took a picture of this place the other day. Look. Hold on one second. Gallery. Here it is. Oh. There it is right there. That's a picture I took when I was going by there Friday morning. So this is the place. We're not going to watch a long thing on it. I've done a very long segment on this place in a conspiracy theory episode, and we went pretty deep into this one.
Time kids care raid. Care. The unapologetically green building located at.
If you call that phone number, either nobody will answer or it's a new person's number now.
100 South and 300 East has been the source of countless conspiracy
Oh,
theories.
hold on, you can't see it.
Many wondering what's truly lurking beneath its eerily.
Look at the windows,
walls.
and they're all blacked out with
But what's all the
papers and
fuss
flags
about,
and stuff.
You may ask, what makes this building so off?
But those papers and flags have never changed in at least 8 years that I've seen them.
Off-putting. Maybe it's the numerous oddly placed windows that seem to be covered up. From
You
the
remember
inside,
that live, Dean?
hiding whatever
See
lies
that
beneath
flag?
its
That's
cold
been there for
exterior.
a
Or
decade.
the uninviting playground with steel spring animals that look like they haven't been used in about 20 years. Or maybe it's the fact that many locals, including myself, have never actually seen a child on the property. The mysterious nature of this building has provoked the curiosity of many, some even going as far as planning to storm the day.
So yeah, they did in 2019, they did a Facebook group, and they were going to storm the building to find out what was going on there, what's up with it. I don't think anybody's ever there. I think it's just an empty building. I was thinking about doing an urban camping video and trying to get like, you know, stealth camping on the Fun Time Kids Care roof or something like that. But I don't think it would be good because there's a couple multi-story apartment buildings around it, and if I was on the roof, I think they could see me. So it wouldn't be a good spot to do something like that.
Daycare allowed the Storm Area 51 movement that made headlines in 2019. But just like the Area 51 raid, the Fun Time Kids Care raid didn't have much success.
That guy face planted.
This strange building, I decided to call the number associated with the daycare.
And what I found was nothing. I mean, it's a 7-digit number. It didn't pick up. It's probably inactive at this point.
Your call cannot be completed as done.
Wait, hold on a second. Why didn't you type 801? I mean, maybe I guess if his phone's in the 801 area code, but why wouldn't you put the area code?
Please hang up and redial the number, including the area code. Announcement 5. Welcome.
Please hang up and dial the number, including the area code. Why didn't he dial the area code? Should we try right now? I don't know. It's late. If it's tied to like somebody's cell phone, I don't want to be just calling somebody's cell phone. Because I've heard that somebody does answer, like the number's in use now by a different number, but he didn't even dial the area code.
But that didn't stop me. I found a Vice article about the building, published in February of 2016.
Is it a drug front, an organ harvesting operation, or just a normal, slightly creepy daycare?
That led me to the very scholarly and extremely reliable website.
Disco Godfather is the guy who posted the viral Reddit post, I think 10 years ago. And somebody in that comment section on Reddit said, stop looking into this. And people say that's probably just like an internet troll who was trying to make it more mysterious or pump it up. But there will always strangely, because I posted about this on our mayor's Facebook, I was like, hey, now that we hear about these daycare scandals, I wonder, what about this place that has had conspiracy theories about it for 10 to 15 years now? Is this one of those scam daycares? Is somebody making money off of this place?
Known as Reddit. A since-redacted Reddit thread displayed a goldmine of conspiracy theories. One user claimed that inside contained, quote, mostly just a chair facing a TV displaying a live video of the other room in the building, end quote. Another user claimed to be a letter carrier for the area and vouched the building was a functioning daycare, but no matter what time of day he showed up with the mail, it always seemed to be nap time. Another post, created by r/conspirobot, went into great detail uncovering other business ventures that the owner of the building was involved in, eventually tying the owner to a Chinese shipping container filled with plastic jewelry and soccer balls that the Reddit user heavily implied is containing something other than the said plastic inhabitants. But is any of this to be believed? No, it's Reddit, of course not. All this stuff can be made up, come on. If you do a bit of actual research, you'll find that records from child care licensing at the Utah Department of Health show that Funtime Kids Care is a functioning daycare facility and nothing more.
And it's still considered a functioning daycare facility. So are they still receiving money?
An article published by the Globe in October...
Because nobody's ever there. It's empty. There's nothing there.
October of 2021 interviewed Simon Bolivar, who is a supervisor for child care licensing. He said that the daycare has been recognized by UDOH since May of 2013, and that an inspection of the facility on October 1st, 2021 yielded no red flags.
No red flags in 2021. I've known about this place for 8 years, and I've been by there every day. Almost every day I go by this place. Depending on if I go to the gym or not and which path I take when I come home, I often go by this place twice a day, 5 days a week. So, never seen a human being there.
Nothing sinister going on inside this building.
But anyway, that's just a fun thing. Before the last hour, before we do the feminization of Christianity and the conservative movement, we talk about Lily Phillips, and we watch the Erica Kirk and Nicki Minaj interview and react to that. One more rapid fire story, but we're going to actually go a little more in depth on it. The day after New Year's, a Swiss ski resort caught fire, leaving 40 people dead. Sparklers on champagne bottles that came too close to the ceiling likely caused the Swiss ski resort bar fire. There's a crazy story about a club where the chandelier caught on fire, and it's all on video, and you see people running out. But and this is the same thing, like a flash fire, like it just goes up. This appeared to lead to a flashover in which everything in a room ignites almost simultaneously. Swiss prosecutors have opened an investigation into possible criminal responsibility. Families wait for news of loved ones. Multiple people are missing, including a teenager who was celebrating the New Year with his friends. Authorities say identifying those killed could take several days. Around 119 people from 9 European countries were injured in the blaze in Crans-Montana, Switzerland. New scenes show terror and chaos as the fire broke out inside the tightly packed bar and people rushed to escape. So, we'll take a look at that real quick. Warning: graphic content.
Horrifying, shaky viral videos.
See it just
show
go
the moment fire
flash
broke out
fire,
at the New Year's
flash
party
over.
at Swiss ski resort bar Le Constellation.
Wow,
that
people
claimed
are
the lives
inside
of
there. You can see the glass. People are in there banging on the
at
glass.
least 47 people and injured more
47.
than 100. With the president of Switzerland, Guy Parmelin, calling the disaster, quote, one of the worst tragedies our country has experienced during a Thursday press conference.
3 days
haunting
ago,
new
Dev
photo
told.
verified by the
Oh,
BBC
look, you can see it. You can see it starting right here. That's crazy. They have sound paneling on the roof. And they have champagne bottles with sparklers, and they're holding them up. And it starts going. And then you see an air vent right here. Maybe there's a window open with a draft. The air, the way the oxygen goes, once the fire starts, it just goes whoo, and it lights up the place. That's crazy. That's horrible.
shows the moment lit sparklers attached to champagne.
Look at that. You see it starting right there, which means this is likely a freeze frame from a video. So probably a full video of this. Like there's people, they're all recording. Oh, wow.
Bottles
That's horrible.
ignited the ceiling as unsuspecting revelers waved their sparklers and bottles high in the air at the doomed nightclub. Witnesses who were in the club that night have said the sparklers were responsible for the deadly blaze. However, Swiss authorities have not officially...
I saw a video of a guy trying to flap at the fire with a tea towel. Yeah, he should have just got out.
Determine the cause.
When you order a table with
Did it work? No, 47 people are dead. He probably was accelerating it.
there's a show that starts. And actually, the show was this. A woman climbed onto another woman's shoulders with 2 bottles, and the birthday fireworks were going off. And she waved them too high, so they hit the ceiling and suddenly caught fire.
Authorities have said, however, that the initial blaze in the bar triggered a so-called flashover, when all of the combustible material in a room ignites at once, triggering multiple explosions. A promotional video for Le Constellation last year showed female nightclub workers carrying bottles of champagne with sparklers attached through the packed, low-ceilinged nightclub. Another witness said the fire triggered a stampede as panicked bargoers surged up a narrow staircase from the venue.
That's always the problem, too, is the people panic, people flood the doors, you get people trampled, you get people locked in, they can't push through the door. Bottleneck problem.
According to French outlet 24
This is sad,
Hours. Law enforcement said that many of the fatalities can be expected to be foreign nationals, as this bar was popular with international tourists.
It's a ski resort.
Emanuele Galappini, a 16-year-old Italian international golfer who lived in Dubai, was named on Friday as the first of several possible victims from Italy to be identified. The burns, suffered by the mostly young crowd, was so severe that Swiss officials said it could take days before they identify all the victims, with experts having to use dental and DNA samples to do so.
Wow.
Flags in Switzerland will fly at half staff for 5 days in remembrance of the lost lives.
That's sad. But from BBC, it says Swiss open criminal case against managers of ski resort bar after deadly fire. They're not going to let me read this? You're trying to make me subscribe to BBC? Since when? Dude, everybody trying to make $1. Everybody trying to make money off me. BBC has never asked me to subscribe. Wow. You think I'm going to subscribe to the British Broadcasting Corporation or company or whatever it is? No, that's not going to happen. Dang. Well, in that case, we grift for a moment. Guys. We got one last segment of the show. We're going to talk about the feminization of Christianity, the conservative movement. We're going to borrow a page out of Terryak's book. Not really. Everybody's been saying that.
Dinosaurs built the pyramids, he claims. Nukes are lies, his mind's aflame. Delete the folder, Josh. Grace ain't yours to keep. Delete the folder, Josh. A twerk on your sleep. Delete the folder, Josh. Let obsession rock deep. Endless clips, grace in his eyes, worshipping moves.
BBC lost all that money on Doctor Who. Backdraft covers this. Oh, the movie Backdraft with Kurt. Who is it? What was his name? Kurt Russell. Yep. GitHub has an app that nukes subscriptions on articles so you can read whatever you want. Ah. All right. All right. I wish I could make that fade out. But anyway, let's move on. The last little hour of the show here. I never watched Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk at Amfest. And, you know, we've been talking about this for years. Terryak's been doing a lot of good work on it, covering it a lot, maybe a little too much. But, you know, the feminization of not only the conservative movement, but also Christianity. When you see like, what's the tattoo chick? We covered her baptism. We covered Nala Ray's baptism. Now we're about to cover another baptism. The baptism of Lily Phillips, the lady that got ran through by 1,000 guys in one day. Or no, I think she did 100 in a day. And then like Bonnie Blue did 1,000. It's Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips are competing to see who can get ran through by the most guys in 24 hours. And this nasty whore just got baptized. Now, you'd say, Josh, that's not nice. Why are you attacking her for getting baptized? She should become Christian, right? She got rebaptized, first off. And that's not, you're not supposed to be rebaptized, okay? That's one problem there. Second, it is not a Trinitarian triple, it's not a valid baptism. They're in like a Walmart jacuzzi, basically a kiddie pool, in some freaking, look like a green screen background. The guy dunks her and pulls her up. It's not a triple dunk. It's not in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. It's not a real baptism. It's a rebaptism, and it's done for social media purposes. Do I know if she's a Christian or not? I don't know. But I know that this baptism is BS. I know that she still has an OnlyFans live. Her OnlyFans is still live. This is a way to stay relevant and get clips. So let's watch this real quick. Unfortunately, I'm going to put you guys through this. Sorry about it. Look at the pool she's in. Lily Phillips gets baptized and says she's closer to God. She said her New Year's resolution is to get closer with God, reconnect with God. So on January 1st, New Year's Day, she gets baptized. Yeah, Kat Von D. That's, yeah, her baptism. Who else? Russell Brand becomes Christian. That's not an argument for the feminization thing, but everybody just, I don't know. It seems like a good thing, but at the same time, I don't know if it is, because it seems like a lot of people are just jumping on a bandwagon and doing this for social media attention. Her OnlyFans is still live. At least Nala Ray deleted hers. Just a quick dunk in a jacuzzi. Oh, wow. And then the guy whispers in her ear, where do we meet up later? I'm trying to hit that. No, anyway. Lily Phillips has no stunts planned for 2026 and instead shares baptism and huge career moves. Lily Phillips has shared that she has no viral stunts or extreme challenges. By extreme challenges or viral stunts, they mean getting banged by 1,000 guys in a 24-hour period. That's what they mean by extreme stunts. Or being like Bonnie Blue and going to, what country was it? Indonesia, with a bus and having a bunch of young men get on your bus and have sex with you and making pornography, which is illegal. She doesn't have any viral stunts like that planned. Instead, she's just going to get baptized on January 1st, rebaptized on January 1st in a fake Protestant church for social media while keeping her OnlyFans open. 2025, Lily Phillips became known for her viral challenges. She started by making a YouTube documentary, Sleeping with 100 Men in a Day, and then she didn't stop. Following this were backdoor challenges, sleeping with old people, and sex universities. It's all been quite out of control. But now, speaking with the Tab, Lily Phillips has said 2026 could be very different. She shared new career plans and resolutions and how she's embracing religion going into the new year. Lily told the Tab she has a New Year's resolution and goal for the year, as well as sticking to her skincare and growing her hair. So my resolutions for the year are finding God and skincare. What is this? I would also love to have my own calendar. I want to win an Adult Video News Award and just continue to grow. So skincare, nail care, a porno calendar, and I want to win a porn award. And by the way, I also want to get baptized and get closer to God. Lily has revealed she is a Christian, and religion is going to be a big part of her year. You don't get to go on interviews and talk about how you love banging strangers and taking young boys' virginity, and then go around and be talking about how you're a Christian. How long till she starts a naked ministry or some crap? Right now, she's got no stunts planned. Lily is a Christian and has been baptized before. Stop. Why is it doing this? What is it telling me page unresponsive for? Lily is preparing to be re-baptized in the days between Christmas and the New Year. Lily is Christian, has been baptized before, but has decided after the year it's the perfect time to get re-baptized before entering 2026. I thought she did it on January 1st. Maybe she did it before January 1st, but regardless, in between Christmas and New Year's, I thought she did it on the 1st, but one more time. A day to remember forever. And this is what Teriak's been talking about. It's not just the tradcon or the femcons infiltrating the conservative movement, but it's also Christianity. But I'm talking about both here. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm a Christian now," but your OnlyFans is still open. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm a conservative. I support Trump," but you're a degenerate and you're a feminist. Which brings me to Erica Kirk and Nicki Minaj. So this is like feminizing of Christianity and conservatism. I couldn't put all that in the title. I couldn't put all that in the thumbnail. But the feminization of now, I'm not gonna say nothing crazy like Candace Owens is saying. I'm not gonna accuse Erica Kirk of anything malicious involving Charlie. Those are conspiracy theories. Those are wild. But I will say this. I don't think Erica Kirk taking over TPUSA was a good thing. I think she's a beauty pageant winner. I think she's a woman and she leans feminist. I've always said there's no such thing as a conservative woman. We don't need women leading the movement. It's a political movement. Just like how we don't want women running the church, we don't want women running our politics. This is man's duty. And we saw early in TPUSA, early with Charlie Kirk, you had a lot of that femininity in TPUSA. You had a lot of women in positions of power. You had a lot of that femininity. And you had a lot of the gay, and because of that, you had a lot of the gay stuff. You had a lot of the, it was like liberal conservatism. It was Big Tent, Lady MAGA, and what's that black guy's name who got called out at the Groyper Wars? Anyway, they were propping up all these gay people and trans people at conservative events, and it was weird. And, then the Groyper Wars happens, and Charlie Kirk, I think he had his finger on the pulse of the nation and the young people. And he's like, we're moving away from this. The conservatives are sick of this crap. They're sick of the feminizing of everything. We want to be stronger. Let's pull away from the wokeness and the Big Tent stuff and the women's empowerment stuff. Let's focus on strengthening our young men. And when he died and Erica Kirk takes over, you can kiss all that goodbye. Because the main feature of TPUSA is Erica Kirk and Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, who Charlie, shortly before he died, said was a nasty woman who should have nothing to do with the conservative movement. So I've never watched this. This is 30 minutes long. And we're just going to react to it. Because this is a problem. And, I before I judge it, I need to see it. So we're going to spend the last hour here doing a little reaction. So let's check this out and hang out for a bit. How involved was she with TPUSA before? Well, I don't know. It could have been the man wears the pants, but the wife tells him when, where, and how to put them on. Could have been a situation like that. Behind every man is a strong woman type situation where she had pull, but she wasn't actually publicly involved. But now she's in charge. Which, never mind. I don't want to say any of that stuff, but I'm not totally opposed to some of the ideas that Candace is saying. I'm not saying she's right about everything. I'm just saying I'm still open because we don't know. We just don't know. Yeah, some of it seems weird. A lot of it seems weird, but that's not a claim. I can't justify it. I don't know. Just I don't know. My radar's going off. I don't like something here. And this is an example of why I don't like it. Why I didn't like it as soon as they said she was taking over. I was like, get ready. Get ready. Queen Bee of the conservative movement is now Erica Kirk. Get ready for what's going to happen here. And it is happening with the Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj, Lily Phillips, your Nala Rays, the feminization. The future is feminine. There's no such thing as a conservative woman. So when you see this on stage at TPUSA, your radar should start going off. So let's watch this.
So those of you who know, Charlie was very good about having a surprise for every AmFest.
He was also really good at criticizing Nicki Minaj.
And we are so blessed to have you. We are so grateful. I mean,
thank you. I'm honored to be here.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I'm from Trinidad.
Love you guys.
And I got the wet ass. Wait, that's not
So
her.
We're just gonna dive
Barbie.
into this. You had some fun words for Governor Newsom. I have to read these tweets because they're amazing.
Let's read some
and they're
tweets.
So funny.
You want to read some tweets,
Okay.
guys?
First one,
They're X's.
We'll do
They're
this one. Unless you want to read it in your own voice, I think it'd be really great. Okay.
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Oh, that's going to be my next hit rap song. It rhymes. I'm a woman, and I think this is all stupid. There you go.
Okay.
Based.
One more.
Based, Abby.
One more.
Why not?
And listen, to the ladies in the chat who are based, when I say there's no such thing as a conservative woman, that's not an attack. That's not an insult. It's just a truth. Women ought not be political. Women ought not be conservative. Because women are inherently liberal-minded. By that, I mean a motherly, nurturing nature. Liberalism, the left, socialism, all these ideas are woman-minded. It's the mama spirit. It's the mama spirit. I want to take care of everybody. I don't want to see people suffering. We just need to take care of everybody. Why can't the government just take care of all the poor people? We need the free medicine and free school and free healthcare and free housing because these people are suffering and we don't want them to suffer. It's not bad that you feel that way, ladies. It's in your nature. You have that motherly spirit, that nurturing nature, that illogical nature, the type of nature that when you have 3 kids and a bear comes into the camp, you're camping with your family and a bear comes in and you have 3 kids, the man might grab the 2 kids that are farthest from the bear and run, knowing that there's not enough time for that kid that's closest to the bear that the bear's about to jump on. He's going to save. He's going to think logically and think in a clutch situation. What's the best outcome here? How do I do the most saving? I can't save Billy. I got to take Clarice and Steve. And you grab those 2. They're the younger ones. They can't run as fast. They're not as close to the bear. You grab them and you run. Meanwhile, the wife is going to go try to fight the bear and get her ass whooped. And now she's dead. Billy's dead. But the dad got out of there with at least 2 of the kids because he thought logically in a high pressure situation. He thought logically and he did the best he could do in that situation. Whereas the woman doesn't think logically. She doesn't think rationally. She thinks emotionally. She doesn't handle the pressure situation well. She makes the wrong decision. She tries to fight the damn bear. And now her and Billy both get mauled to death. Meanwhile, Dad and Steve and Clarice make it out alive. Okay? This is why women shouldn't vote. This is why women shouldn't run churches, but they should be mothers. They're protectors of the kids. And so when I say women are not conservative, a conservative woman would know that she shouldn't be involved in politics, so she wouldn't be getting involved in politics. She wouldn't be on a stage at a political conference if she was a conservative woman, because she'd know that's not her place. So they can't exist. Not just that they don't, they can't. Because if they could, they wouldn't. But women are liberal-minded in their nature, on purpose. It's supposed to be that way. And that's why they're not supposed to be running churches and politics. It's because of that. That's not a bad thing. That's a necessary, good thing. It's how God meant it to be. We don't need Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk telling us how to do our politics and our religion.
Imagine being the guy running.
We need them fighting bears.
Trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav. The Gav Knots. Gav, not in.
She's so weird. I'm Nicki Minaj. Opens her eyes all weird. She's so weird. It's creepy. They're both creepy.
Gav out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored.
Gav out. Send in the next guy. She's saying it like she's rapping. Like that's how she raps. That was weird.
So I'm just going to let you riff. Like, I want you to say whatever you want to say.
You go, Queen. Slay Queen.
Mr. Newsom.
Dear Newscum.
I would have been so pissed if I flew out to TPUSA event, paid for tickets, paid for a hotel, paid for a flight, and I get out there and the main event is Nicki Minaj and Erica Kirk for an hour. I would be very disappointed. You better have some shrimp on ice. I heard they had a whole seafood spread. I would have just been eating the seafood the whole time. I'd rather never mind. Never mind.
We don't have a problem cleaning up the scum if we have to. Tread lightly.
Oh, her voice is annoying. I like some of her rap music, actually, and I don't like female rappers. But as far as female rappers go, Nicki's nice. She's nice, okay? Granted, she probably... I know they got documentaries where she's writing lyrics in the documentary, but I think the majority of her stuff is basically just Lil Wayne's throwaway verses. She takes them, which I think Drake does. All of them in Young Money, they just take Lil Wayne's throwaway verses. So he's just constantly working, but she kind of nice, as far as female rappers go, but I don't want to hear her talk about politics.
That's what I would say to Gabby Poo.
Not to shrimp on ice.
So with regard to the current administration, what has been maybe the biggest surprise for you, or something that you just really has been put on your heart that you've learned about our president and our vice president?
Well,
I have the utmost.
And if Erica Kirk and JD Vance, because JD Vance is leaving his Indian wife, and if her and JD end up together, I'm not gonna be happy, because then that looks bad. It looks like something is amiss here.
Respect.
Period.
And admiration for our president.
Why are people cheering this? Their brain,
He
I mean, I'll give it to TPUSA. They know how to get the young people's vote, keep the young people interested, and at least get them voting in the right direction. So I'll give it to them for that, but I'm just not with it. If JD Vance divorces his wife, I thought they already were, they're separated. Pretty sure they're separated and getting divorced.
He even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it
To be fair, I don't think he. Never mind.
with your head held high and
Oh no, it says they are not separated. Recent divorce rumors are false. Swimming from Usha being seen without her wedding ring. I thought there was more to the rumors than that, but okay, I thought it was more serious. I guess it's just rumors, so I'm wrong. I'll take that. I'll take that L. I'll take that L. But I don't know. Sometimes rumors have some truth to them, and the media is going to cover up, but the rumors might actually be where the truth is. We'll see. But I was wrong about that. I'll take that L. Erica's body language looks off. Did she eat some bad shrimp? I don't know. I was going to say something about I'd rather be eating the seafood than smelling the seafood on the stage, but
your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, you know, even in the worst feeling times in your life,
even at the worst feeling times in your life,
from it. But you do.
She looks like a robot. Nicki Minaj might be a robot, a fembot. She's a fembot.
How about new?
And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly.
She kind of reminds me of Cat, stripper Cat.
Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny.
And I hate that feminine teacher voice. Like there's like everything they say, it's like they're a teacher and like they're talking down to you like you're a child. Like, okay, listen. Are you ready to learn, kids? Shut up!
Until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on, you'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And that's not, and it's just not fair. But this administration
You guys can barely hear it, huh?
is full of
Let me make it louder.
people with
I want to
heart
make sure you can hear Nikki. Sorry if it was quiet.
of them. Our vice president, he makes me, well, I love both of them, but they're both powerful men, smart, strong, all of that, but both of them have a very
straight,
uncanny ability to be someone that
hopefully Christian
you relate to. I can relate to them. When I hear them speak, I know that they're one of us. Like, I know that they're not. Don't you guys agree?
One of us? Us being a rich woman rapper from Trinidad? What do you mean one of us? Who's us?
They haven't lost touch of the world. You know, they're still connected to the
Audio is
world
perfect,
and what's
very
happening
quiet.
in
I
the
can barely
world.
hear her voice. Now you
With
gotta
the younger
suffer.
people and older people, with the richer people and not so rich people. They have the ability to still connect and be
Nope. You guys gotta hear Nicki Minaj very clearly. Okay?
real and make us feel proud to be American.
By the way, since doing this, there's now a petition to deport Nicki Minaj. And if the thing I saw on Facebook is accurate, I saw one that said reaches 50,000 signatures. Then I saw one that said 90,000 signatures. I've seen one headline that said the petition to deport Nicki Minaj. has reached 120,000 signatures. You going back to Trinidad, Nikki?
So why now have you been
With her
involved?
hair. She flips her hair back and then she does this and puts it forward again. Still long hair, don't care like a Navajo. We know she don't think that hard. Turn her back down.
With speaking about politics, what was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Yeah.
So this is about you.
Sometimes you just
want to make
get
a statement and be
tired
edgy.
of it, and then you realize, wait a minute.
It has nothing to do with policy. It has nothing to do with understanding politics and Trump and any administrative actions, nothing like that. It's just because she wanted to be edgy on the internet and stand out and do something that, ooh, you could get canceled for that, Nikki. I don't care. I'm a strong woman. I'll get canceled. You can't cancel me. I'm uncancelable. You hear me? So this is selfish. It's for clout, for attention. All press is good press. Tell me one policy that you support, Nikki. She's going to say immigration.
I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there.
What does that mean?
That's right. So
she said, what is the turning point for when you started to support Trump? Can you give us a policy issue or something?
When you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? They don't even know who they are. So I'm not going to back down anymore. I'm not going to back down ever again.
But Weezy did say on his new album, he said, they got hidden agendas. We got kids not getting agenda. So, and Weezy's always been based. So maybe his influence has rubbed off on Nikki, and maybe she is kind of based, But still, I'm not trying to hear it. She needs to take a page out of Wayne's book and say, I'm not about politics. I'm not a politician. Miss me with that bull crap. Talking about Black Lives Matter. I don't want to hear about Black Lives Matter. Racism doesn't even exist. That's what Weezy says. She needs to take a... They asked him about that. He said, you want to know what I think about all this? My life matters. He pulled out his red bandana. He said, this is my flag. This is what I'm about. My family. My life matters. Miss me with that political bullshit. But now Nikki, maybe she got some baseness rubbed off on her, but you don't need to be talking at political events for conservatives and Christians. She don't care as long as people are paying her. Yep.
Can the students in the room raise your hand? Wow. This question is for you guys. So you guys are very courageous and bold on your campus. Nikki, I know our students feel this way, but why do you think speaking your mind has become so controversial?
Because people no longer are using their minds, their brains.
Why is speaking your mind so controversial? Because people aren't using their minds.
So right now, just imagine.
Do you hear boos?
We're not allowed to have a different opinion anymore. We're not allowed to think out loud anymore. We're not, this is not what the world used to feel like. And especially for the young people, I don't want them growing up in a world where they feel like that. They deserve for their voices to be heard. They have valid feelings and they're thinking about things, and it deserves attention.
Yeah, she said that.
We should listen to what they're saying. And if you're growing up in a world that tells
I can't stand the mama voice, the mama and the teacher voice.
you it's taboo
It's condescending. It's patronizing.
to say something that the masses don't agree with, that's not okay. And we're not gonna have it. And I love this. You know, it's giving the younger people confidence that they will need later on in life. You guys will need it, and you will have it. So I'm rooting for you.
Amen. Amen.
She's not saying anything. Like she said absolutely nothing of value this whole time. She's just saying words. A truckload of words with no meaning. It just sounds nice.
Again, Charlie would always say, it really does not take skill to be courageous. It takes a choice. It takes a decision. And I want to say again, thank you.
What did Charlie say about Nicki Minaj?
And being courageous and being able to share your heart with us. And the reason why that also holds true sentiment-wise is because I know that you are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
Amen. I feel the same way. When people are like, what do you think about them? I'm like, I don't think about them.
Bingo. We don't even think about them.
We don't have time to. We're too busy building, right?
Yeah, we're the cool kids.
Okay.
The other people, they're the ones who are still just disgruntled.
Black culture is being held captive by influences, songs, and role models. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls, he said. I don't think that songs that are talking about glorifying wet female genitalia, I don't know which one wrote that song. And then it ends the quote. But yeah, Charlie Kirk has said she is not a good role model. And then Erica Kirk has her as the headline.
But really they're just disgruntled with themselves. They are angry with themselves, you guys.
So brave, bold, and beautiful.
You can't wake up and think about somebody who is determined to just stay mad. I literally tell them, stay mad.
Stop doing the big eye thing. You're freaking me out, lady.
Amen.
Stay mad. Because we're going to stay joyful, and peaceful, and iconic, and smart.
You're not saying anything.
And we're going to stay thinkers. In a world that doesn't want us to think, we will think. By ourselves, on our own, we will continue to think.
Oh my God, I hate this. I absolutely hate this. I can't. Oh my God. Why am I watching this? This is why I didn't watch this, because I knew I'd get very irritated. Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna get through all this, guys. We have 20 minutes left, and I have to pause a lot because I get very frustrated. Maybe let's bump it up to 1.25. So the woman prattle and the cackling hens will sound even more infuriating, but it'll happen quicker. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off faster, 1.25 speed.
This is something I know that's really important to you and on your heart. And I personally want to know what inspired you to speak out for the Christians that are being slaughtered in Nigeria.
Well,
it'll get me some album sales.
And that brings me back to our great president and this administration.
Why do you hate us? Why
and
do we
our great
deserve
country.
This?
That we take for granted that they're...
No, you have to suffer like I do. We can't critique it if we don't know what was said, guys. We have to hear it. I know it's 2 weeks late, but better Nate than Lever.
Right now in this world are people who cannot worship God as they please, where they please. We take it for granted because we have it. We can't even imagine not having that right. But every time we
This is a based answer, right? She's not wrong here.
pray and fellowship,
Do I think she actually cares about this? No. But it's popular right now, so everybody's going to get baptized and be a Christian and praise Jesus, raise holy hands.
we have to remember the people that are right now in this world hiding to pray and fellowship.
But when I say, or when John Tetton says in his interview with Nick Fuentes that maybe we should have blasphemy laws, you know, maybe people should get killed if their pit bull bites a child and kills a child. Maybe we might have to tighten up a little bit once you say that. Once you start talking about real Christian nationalism, not this soft version of Christian nationalism, which is like, oh, we just want Christian morality in our laws. Well, that's already the case. No, Christian nationalism means you're not allowed to be in government unless you're a Christian. That's Christian nationalism.
And we have to pray for them. And first of all, Nigeria is a place I've always loved. Someone very dear to me, my pastor, is Nigerian. I have lots of Nigerian barbs. And so hearing
How much
that
super chat to mute them?
people are being kidnapped, and while they're in church, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed, brutalized, all because of their religion. And that should spark outrage in the great America. And that's what it did. And again, we're not backing down anymore. We are not going to be silenced by the bullies anymore, okay? Know that. Hear that.
You've never been silenced by a bully before.
Receive that, bullies. We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world. Amen.
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 Amen. Oh, thank you, Lord. Like a dungeon dragon.
I don't know if you can see this at home, but she is getting a ton of standing ovations.
Yeah, by a bunch of simps.
I love you guys so much. Thank you guys.
So going along that thread, can you tell
See, she knows white people buy hip-hop albums too.
us about your relationship with God? Because I think a lot of us
Did we
wanna
just
hear it.
become Barbs?
Sure.
Barbie!
Well, my relationship with God started, well, when I was a toddler in Trinidad. My grandmother, if things got spicy in the house, like if the kids and grandkids were arguing or fighting, she would make all the little kids go in her room and make us say and say a prayer. So later on in my life, well, not much later, when I was like 10, 11, 12, I started going to church in New York. And it changed everything. It changed my life for the better because I was going every week. I was hearing the word of God be preached. And then I was going.
Why have you never talked about this before?
Home and I was applying it to my life, even as a little girl.
Like it wasn't that important to you. You don't write about it. You don't put God in your music. You don't talk about Jesus in your music. So it didn't impact your life that much. You've never talked about this before until you're at a Christian event. Now all of a sudden, it's the biggest impact you've ever had in your life.
I learned how to pray very early. I always had this faith that made people think, the kind of faith that you think a person is crazy, like, oh, please, But I had that faith instinctively. Once I started hearing about God and, just getting more into the Bible, I got baptized when I was about, yep, amen. I got baptized when I was.
Everybody getting baptized this year. 2026 is the year of the baptism. Everybody going in the kiddie pool.
About 13. I got baptized. And I have just always applied those teachings to my life. I tried.
Really? Were you applying those teachings to your life when you made your all of your albums? Every album? We talk about shooting ninjas and nasty sex and gangster stuff.
Too. And that's the thing.
Grift, Nikki,
we're not
grift.
perfect.
You're
we
right,
try.
yeah.
Sometimes I would wake up and feel so far removed from not God, but from fellowship. You know, I was like, oh my God, I used to go to church on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday every week, like literally 3 days out of the week. And then later on in your life, you become busy and you start thinking, oh, well, you know, God is in my heart. And, you know, but then sometimes you can be in an industry as well that pulls you away even more. So lately, I've been feeling like, you know, like if you haven't seen a long-lost best friend for, you know, for a long time and then you bump into them again, that's how it's been feeling for me, like just going back to God.
Oh, she met her best friend God again.
And praying and talking to him. And, you know, and he said to me, where were you? Where have you been? I've been waiting on you. And since that moment that God had that conversation with me,
You sat down and had a conversation with God, and now your best friend / boyfriend is back.
Been in such a better space because now it's just, I'm thinking about, is God pleased with this? Not if the bullies and uglies are pleased, but if God is pleased. And when you have that personal relationship with God, guess what? Even in school, he's there. Wherever you are and whenever you need it, you have something that you can tap into immediately. It's immediate. You don't have to leave a message. He's not going to call you back. He's there immediately. As soon as you call on him, on the first ring, he's going to answer. And I want you guys to remember that.
About what? You calling God? How often you calling God? God ain't got time for all that. How often you trying to talk with God? He ain't trying to listen to all that.
You're young, and first of all, I want to say
about everything.
I'm proud of you guys. This is a major to be so young for you guys that are in college, to be so young and to care this much this early in your life. It tells us how smart you are, and it tells us that there's hope for our future. So God bless you. Congratulations, you guys. You're amazing. Congratulations, you guys are amazing, okay? Know it, feel it.
Feel it, feel
yes.
it. Know it,
yes.
feel it.
Proudly. Be it proudly. Be who you are proudly.
Amen.
Yes.
So
we'll go a little faster.
Have you, I mean, you're an amazing mother.
It's almost over.
What have you seen that has been a struggle for young women today? And then also, since both of us have little boys, I would love for you to also talk about the male side of that question as well.
Okay, well, something that I've noticed recently is that for little girls, I think that no matter how you look, we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look. Recently, in the media, it's almost been like a push to...
Is this a body positivity section for little girls? Body positivity is what's the most important thing? Really?
It's not just making young black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling us...
Don't be ashamed of your blackness, young ladies. Body positivity. Don't be ashamed of your blackness. I know all the celebrities are getting Ozempic, so fat positivity isn't really a thing anymore, but it's okay, little girl, that you're black.
Other children not to be proud of themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way. If as black women, we felt that we were not being represented.
Couldn't be she's
and
wearing
not
a wig.
being admired for our beauty. If we felt like that as...
It's probably a wig. That's what Seesaw was saying, the fake hair. I don't know. It could be her real hair, but I doubt it.
Black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty?
Don't be ashamed of the way you look. You can always get a weave.
So that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a...
What the hell is this? What does this have to do with conservatism? What does this have to do with the political state of the country? This is amid attacks on Venezuela. Epstein files. I'd rather hear about the Epstein files than this shit. What is this?
Point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look. Like, isn't that wild? And so for little girls, I don't want what was done to little black girls done to little white girls. I don't want it done to any girls. I want all the little girls in the world to know that you are unique, you are beautiful, you are you, and you can compliment another girl, you can compliment another woman and still know that you are epic and amazing. So that's what I would say about for the girls. And I know I know my adults understand clearly where I'm going with that, where I'm getting, you know, I don't like that. I don't like people making other people feel badly about themselves in any way. We need to nurture young girls. Yes, whether they are black, white, Asian, Hispanic, they still need to be nurtured. They cannot continue to pay for other people's sins, so they haven't done anything wrong.
Amen. And what do you...
Did you know in that American Eagle ad, Sydney Sweeney was actually wearing men's jeans? That Good Jeans ad, she's actually wearing a pair of men's jeans in that ad.
Think about for young men?
True story.
For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes, see, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our
Lil Wayne,
handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that...
The assassin J.D. Vance? Did she just say the assassin J.D. Vance? Do people call him that? Is that a nickname of his?
Assassin. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
I don't know if at TPUSA calling J.D. Vance an assassin is the best wording. The assassin? And Erica's smiling. I would have been like, do people call him the assassin? That's kind of odd. The assassin J.D. Vance. And Erica smiles. I would have been like, what? The assassin? Do I not know? Have people called him the assassin? Is that like a nickname of his? That's really odd and not the best choice of words at the first TPUSA event after Charlie Kirk's assassination. That was weird.
And when I say that...
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
That...
What the fuck does this even mean? What is happening right now?
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Yes, we did. I love you.
What just happened? The assassin J.D. Vance, and when I say that, believe me, there's nothing I haven't heard. Is she implying that he was called the assassin of Charlie Kirk? And then Erica Kurt's like, believe me, there's nothing I haven't heard. Is this a reference to Candace? And she's just, what is happening here? I have no idea what that exchange was just now, but it was weird. I'm so confused too. I don't get it.
I love it. You have to laugh about it, truly.
Now they start having a side conversation. So I think they are implying that, like, Candace, because a lot of this, they were taking shots at Candace and Nick Fuentes and stuff, this whole conference. I talked about how the America Fest was like a war, a little battle among conservatives at the event. But I'm guessing what they're alluding to is people saying like Erica Kirk and JD Vance are involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So when Nikki says the assassin JD Vance, and when I say that, they're like pointing to Candace, and then she says, yeah, I know, I've heard it before. It's crazy. But this is odd.
I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a...
Or did she realize after she said it, oh shit, what did I just say? And now Erica's covering for her because she realized she just had a stupid slip and it's going to get clipped. And so now they're trying to like cover for it. I don't know what's happening here.
The soul and a heart for the Lord, and words are words, but I know her heart, and it doesn't even matter. And you say what you want to say because I know your heart. And I do not judge that.
Sister. Thank you.
Look, she looks like she's about to cry. So I think she fucked up and said the assassin JD Vance, like, and then after she said it, she's like, and when I say that, shit, I just fucked up. I just called him an assassin and Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Damn. And then she kind of didn't know what to say. And then Erica had to jump in to cover for her and be like, it's going to get clipped, but hey, I know she didn't mean what she just said. I don't know what's happening, guys. Woman prattle. That's what it is.
Boys, be boys.
Amen. Like she's about to cry. See, I think she realized she fucked up. I think she slipped there.
Be boys. It's okay. Be boys. It's nothing wrong with being a boy.
Amen.
How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound is that?
Amen.
Boys will be boys, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
What's something the media and the world in general misunderstands about you?
Oh, I think people think maybe that I'm mean, or, maybe when you have a strong presence as a woman, it's easy to just box you into one box, like one category of mean or,
strong, independent woman.
Other words.
They want to like put you in a box to be able to label you what they want you to be, but there's so much more.
We're not going to make it through all this.
Because you intimidate them, and they want to find something. And if they can't find something, they'll make something up.
They will.
And so they'll put a label on you. But, it doesn't, what people misunderstand about me now.
All right, guys, we're not watching all this. Sorry. You don't get to see it all. There's like 6 minutes left, and I don't have time. But that's just an example. Again, it's Nala Ray. It's all these celebrities. The feminization of Christianity and conservatism. The future is feminine. It's coming from every direction now. It's even coming from our own side, the big tent conservative movement. That shit's over. 2026. Grab your balls, America. I stabbed a Venezuelan in the neck at the War of Two Fingers. We're going to make them glow in the dark. No more feminizing the church. No more feminizing the conservative movement. TPUSA, you're on the way out if you don't tighten up. This is America. It's for men. America. America. Fuck yeah.
You ain't got the answers.
You ain't got the
man.
answers.
I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education.
All right, guys. But thank you for hanging out. I got to get going. I got to get to work here pretty soon. We have a debate tomorrow. Marte Reyes. The topic is racism is not actually race-based hate, but other forms of hate. And I will be arguing for a specific typology of hate that does not include racism, but encompasses racism. It doesn't include racism as a type, but it encompasses the idea of racism and shows why that's actually an incoherent idea. And we should call things what they are, not what they aren't. Don't play Satan's games. Don't play the games of the world with words that the liberals want us to use. Don't play their games. I'm not going to feed into it. We're destroying the idea of racism. little by little, inch by inch. So that's what we're debating tomorrow, 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be on Speakeasy channel. It'll be on my channel. If you send me a super chat, I will be linked to Speakeasy's channel, so he'll be able to read the questions. So it's up to you where you want to go do it. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you catch that debate tomorrow. And I will see you then. This has been the Dreaded Conservative Show. You know, Monday night, kicking the week off right. If you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. Guys, God bless. Let me send you over to Easy. Rev is debating Vigilante on the Trinity. He said he was wanted to do some debate prep with me, and he never came to do it. To be fair, I don't know how to. I could have done a nice mock debate as a Gnostic. I do know a little bit of Gnosticism, but it wouldn't be like Unitarian versus Trinitarian. It's different. Gnosticism versus Trinitarian. So hopefully Rev is ready for the Gnostic aspect of it. I'm gonna have to rewind and watch it in double time to catch up, but we will be sending you guys over there. Put some chairs in his chat. God bless you guys. Thank you for hanging out. I'm out. Peace.